Oh, it's not.
Yeah. Y'all know what time it is, man.
Bluetooth. Sorry about that.
I don't need no DJ either. I host my own shit. It's a journey. It's elevation, you feel me? Check me out. I got my heart up in this music, so I grind till it stop. You can hate me or love me, either way you dying to watch. It's hard to live at the bottom, easy to die at the top. Because the ops want my body on my mind. Yo. I don't think y'all know what I mean by elevation. Elevation. We eating right. We thinking right. We getting sunlight. And we cutting off any and everything that can weigh us down. We going up. What y'all doing? I got my heart up in this music, so I grind till it stop. You can hate me or love me, either way you dying to watch. It's hard to live at the bottom, easy to die at the top. Because the ops want my body on my mind in a box. Just living in hell, these stories I've been living to tell. When I'm spitting, you gotta feel it like it's written in braille. RIPs to the G's that ain't let it prevail. And free the ones trapped sitting in cells. No, I got you, this that ghetto gospel. Listen, the hustle is all muscle, can't stop me. That's why I rap cocky but talk humble. They got them full of envy, want my body cold and nifty. Just know when the plans are going against me, they all crumble, moving silent. Reflecting on days I was making moves. 15, writing raps on the way to school. Younger years growing up, it was hard to open up. So a lot of people don't know me good as they say they do. I'm a Scorpio, I give a portfolio through this audio and slaudio. Favorite beats, I run it like cardio, that water flow. One of a kind, I was born with it. I'm a warrior in any condition, I go and get it. I won't mind, with no co-defendant or co-signs. From the soul to the flows, the boys a whole vibe. This a hustler's ambition, close your eyes, listen and ride with me. I do it bigger than the sky's limit, mind vision.
They didn't have the game fucked up, too. Everybody in this fucking game got the game fucked up. Tripping. Work, man. Work. Fuck, you won't be on the streets talking about what you do, fuck. And you ain't doing it. Fuck, you won't be in the club looking like you do something, fuck. And you don't really do it. Fuck, you won't stand next to a nigga like me that really do it. And you don't do it. What the fuck from by me, man? What have you done? Go in the studio with fucking clips, ammo. Who I'm shooting at? I'm gonna shoot them in their fucking head. Who I'm shooting at? I got bullets for days, nigga. Feel me? These niggas ain't got no fucking ammunition, man. How the fuck you gonna go to war?
All right, guys, we're about to get this started with my brother in just a moment. We're gonna play another song or so to let everyone come in. Make sure y'all can catch this very powerful information that this young gifted brother will be delivering. And we'll get right into it after this.
It's a lost generation. We starving for greatness. We hardly can make it, and truth is a pill that we hardly can take. Look at our generation, walking lost in this matrix, praying God come and save them. You'll do it for yourself if you really want the help, otherwise it'd be hard to escape. You're the lost generation. It's a lost generation. We starving for greatness. We hardly can make it, and truth is a pill that we hardly can take. Look at our generation, walking lost in this make at us, man. Praying God come and save us out here. You'll do it for yourself if you really want the help, otherwise it'd be hard to escape. With a lost generation, where everything's fun and games. We drink and we smoke just to numb the pain. We scream for the cops when a brother gets shot, then we march for our money, don't nothing change. Damn, I'm tired of these fucking games, shit. We gotta do something, man. They label us black, our history snatched. We don't even know where the fuck we came from. They gave you another name, watched it and gave you another brain. We used to be scholars till they gave us dollars. You gotta realize this a fucking game, so make sure you play it right. When you give it your all, you sleep when you lay at night. I am a ray of light, that's an affirmation, something that you could say alright. I hope this word get exposed, I swear this cycle's getting old. How we giving all our children shit, we couldn't deal with it. Shit from further from their souls, this world is so cold. Think to myself like, damn, sometimes I don't wanna have babies. Like, damn, what they gon' have faith in? I guess all I can say is, damn, this a lost generation. We starving for greatness. We hardly can make it, and truth is a pill that we hardly can take. Look at our generation, walking lost in this matrix, praying God come and save them. You'll do it for yourself if you really want the help, otherwise it'd be hard to escape. With a lost generation, it's a lost generation. We starving for greatness. We hardly can make it, and truth is a pill that we hardly can take. Look at our generation, walking lost in this matrix, Praying God come and save you. You'll do it for yourself if you really want to help. Otherwise, it'd be hard to escape in a lost generation where youngins be selling us dope and politicians sell us hope. We never noticed all the power we got in our hands. They trick us and tell us to vote. Why should I care about July 4th? That one what my people died for was given religion that put up in a wicked system. But this shit won't our choice, so just find yours. There's different meanings of freedom, you need to define yours. Republic or Democrat, I don't get into that. They gotta give us back our voice. Cause how can the president speak for me? Clean up the streets and find peace for me. They can't part the Red Sea for me. If I thought that, then I ain't even free. I'm just trying to tell them the hate they dealing us is deadly. Let's come together for protection. They use their air, food, and water as weapons for harming my essence. It's time that we check it. I need my people to help me. The time is now. We need plans. But we ain't got no hope, so we apply, go vote, and say, y'all don't know, just keep praying. Damn, it's a lost generation. We starving for greatness. We hardly can make it, and truth is a pill that we hardly can take. Look at our generation, walking lost in this matrix. Praying God come and save you. You'll do it for yourself if you really want to help. Otherwise, it'd be hard to escape with a lost generation. It's a lost generation. We're starving for greatness. We hardly can make it, and truth is a pill that we hardly can take. Look at our generation, walking lost in this matrix. Praying God come and save you. You'll do it for yourself if you really want to help. Otherwise, it'd be hard to escape with a lost generation.
I think that if you take one of the O's out of good, it's God. If you had a D to evil, it's the devil. I think some cool motherfuckers sat down a long time ago and really figured out a way that we can control motherfuckers. And that's what they came up with, is the Bible. Because if the guy wrote the Bible, I'm sure it would have been a revised copy by now. You know what I mean? Because a lot of shit has changed. And I've been looking for this revised copy, and I don't see it.
Be Soul in the house. Thank you so much for coming through, brother, and being able to come bless us with some very powerful information that I'm sure once you share it, everyone will be appreciative of. So it sounds like a little echo. What I'll do is mute. I want you to introduce yourself, and yes, let's go from there, brother.
Hey, my name is B Soul online on all my socials. YouTube, TikTok, B Soul 13. My actual name is Darnell. My friends call me Bo. Yeah, I'm from Texas, from Converse, Texas. I was born in London, England. My parents was both military, retired military, so they was out in London when I was born. And then we moved to Texas, Converse, Texas, when I was about 2.5 years old. And that's where I grew up. And yeah, I'm a pranic healer and certified Reiki master. And by day, elementary school teacher, paraprofessional. I work one-on-one with special needs kids. So yeah, that's me.
That's awesome. That right there, brother, is awesome. Just the fact that you are working with the special needs children and being able to apply your energy to that. That's awesome. I'm not sure. I usually don't have an echo. Can you check the echo on your end just to verify if there's something going on your end? Maybe the echo button under the settings with the audio. I definitely want to converse with you. It's getting a little bit of echo. Though. Can you hear it, or if it's okay for everyone else, I'll ignore it.
Yeah, it sounds fine for me.
Okay.
Uh,
Let me check. It may be on my end.
Set an echo button.
No, don't worry about it then. If it's fine to you, it may be me. Let me check mine. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that sounds a little better. Okay, yes, it was my end. Thank you. Sorry about that, brother. Yes.
Yeah, probably on your end, probably because it's like a little bit of. Okay, now it's a little bit of reverb.
Okay. Now, did you? Let me ask you this before we get into everything. Oh, everybody said you sound good. Fine. Before we get into everything, did you have something you wanted to share so that they can look at while we're conversing about what you're talking about, so on and so forth? Did you want to share anything?
Yes, references.
Yes.
I would say look at pranic healing, the 11 chakras. 11 chakras. That'll give you a good idea on what all your chakras look like in your energy body. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I said I have it muted, and they said that now you are echoing, so it may be on your end. Can you go to the audio settings and just verify that your echo button, maybe check that, because it's I'm still hearing it a little bit as well. And I didn't ask you, are you familiar with StreamYard? Do you know how to like share your documents and things of that nature? I didn't ask you that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I
okay.
start using.
Okay. Are you on a computer or are you on your phone?
I'm on my
I'm on my
phone
phone
right
right
now.
now.
Okay, so if there's any document you want to share, you can email it to me really quickly, and then I can pull it up on the screen as you're going over it. If you want to do that.
Uh,
Uh,
okay, I don't
okay, I
have
don't
any
have any
documents
documents
on
on
me
me
to
to
show,
Okay.
but
show, but
yeah, just
yeah, just
anytime
anytime
during
during
the
the
talk,
talk,
by
by
echoing.
echoing.
Let me mute again. I think it's because I'm unmuted again. Let me go ahead and mute. Go ahead, brother, and get into the healing. You know, what made you get into it, some of the results. I did earlier on another stream play. You were showing like how the response from some of the people and the effects that it had on them, the positive effects, so on and so forth. Maybe kind of get into that. I really want them to have an understanding of what the pranic healing is. I will find a document I have on it and pull it up, and we'll go from there. I'll go ahead and mute so you don't have a hard echo.
Okay, cool. Okay, so pranic healing. How I first got into it, the start of my journey was it was about what 2018. I started working at the school. I had graduated from college in 2016. So as soon as I had graduated from college, I had to start paying my loans back. So I had got my degree in uh, information systems, so pretty much computers. I was like, IT guy, computer guy. I guess rewind a little bit during college. That was kind of really, the start of my spiritual journey. In 2011, started college in 2010. In the fall. Uh, 2011, the second semester of my freshman year is when I kind of, quote unquote, woke up, if you want to say. Yeah, I think I had seen a video on college or whatever. It's like, oh, college is a scam. You know what I'm saying? It was just a whole bunch of conspiracies and different stuff inside the video, a little hour long, little documentary, whatever. I think it's still on YouTube, but that was my kind of like, moment or whatever. So that kind of I think that was the initial catalyst of my spiritual journey. And then yes, there it is, the chronic healing book. Perfect. Nice. Yeah, that was the, I guess, catalyst to my journey. And then after that, uh my parents are my dad is, from a Muslim background, and then my mom is Christian. So after I had seen the little college video, that kind of, expanded my mind. That was the first time, my young teenage self, was even thinking about anything, outside the self, higher, and, anything spiritual. So once I kind of woke up, what I'm saying, I kind of hit the ground running. I was, trying to I was trying to know everything as fast as possible. I was extremely hungry and thirsty for information, and still am, still ain't stopped. So what happened
What
Right.
was
happened?
my parents, from that background, I kind of had a little, I feel like a boost, because I'm over here, I'm very skeptical. I'm very, I'm the biggest skeptic, you know what I mean? And that's why, I kind of had the results, and my journey was the way it was because I only deal with results. So I'm just like, all right, let's see. I'm awake now. Okay, I just been going to church all my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my dad was Muslim background and my mom was Christian. You know, kind of how that go. You know what I'm saying? Your mom kind of,
How real quick
override everything.
to intercede on that, brother? Can you tell me, was that really hard, or was it that because they had different backgrounds, they didn't really get too much into religion in the household? How did you guys deal with that?
Yeah,
You growing up
how
with
it
those
was
two?
is my dad was from a strong, Muslim background. So that's actually why my full name is Darnell Bohannon Bey. You probably see my, I don't know if my Cash App is up, but yeah, that's my full name, Bohannon Bey. So when you become a Muslim minister, they add Bey to your last name. So my grandfather, he became a Muslim minister, and he was kind of, deep into the teaching all that stuff. He was a 5%er or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He was kind of deep into the stuff. My grandfather actually used to run numbers for Don King, and get a little, but they wasn't doing
Oh wow,
all the way legal business. You know how Don King worked. He
really?
used to work for Don King, run numbers for him and all that stuff. He was Muslim, had my aunts and uncles in Temple, you know what I'm saying? Eating, selling bean pies on the corner, all that. Really, it was a real devout Muslim type deal. So my father, you know what I mean? He was like the third youngest out of 7 siblings. So he kind of, you know what I mean? He was just grandfather. Then he wasn't really, Muslim that type deal himself. It was so much, you know how it is with any religion, Christian, whatever. It's kind of shoved down your throat when you're little. You kind of straight from it, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
So he wasn't a practicing Muslim like that or anything, you know what I mean? When he met my mom, he wasn't going to temple like that or nothing no more, whatever, He just always said, I believe in God, you know what I'm saying? We had a talk long years ago. I said, I believe you, whatever, blah, 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 and I'm good, you know what I'm saying? He ain't no practicing of no religion and all that, not the Muslim stuff anymore. He just believes in God, so that's where he was at. Mom, just crazy. Yeah, I got your grandfather on my daddy's side, a Muslim minister, and then my mom's father, my grandfather on my mom's side, he was a Christian minister.
Wow, too. That had to been crazy.
Yeah,
Just going to this grandparent's house, then going to that grandparent's house. All these different religious things.
right.
Putting it in your mind as a child. Wow, that's just like crazy. I can imagine.
Yeah, so exactly. So I'm in a, what I'm saying, a awkward spot. You know what I mean? If one chooses to look at that, it's like, oh, that's kind of what helped me because I'm like, oh, hold on now. I come from two different religious backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever asked me what I wanted to be. I just started going to church one day and going to, all of a sudden I'm just a Christian. I'm like, when did I get asked? You know what I'm saying? So that right there, I was like, all right, my household was predominantly Christian. We going to church on Sundays. My mom taking us, whatever. My dad never went. He just stayed at the crib. You know what I mean? And when I was little, I'm the only one asking questions really at my siblings. I got two older brothers. We each 7 years apart. And so I'm over here like, man, why ain't daddy got to go to church? You know what I'm saying? And she's like, ha, 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 ha. They both laugh. And I'm like, nah, for real. Like, one day I was like, I want to stay home. You know what I'm saying? With dad. And she's like, no, you going to church with me? I'm like, no, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Dad ain't got to go.
Right, right.
This is my first time actually. I'm like, nah, I'm starting to think, my mind is starting to, nah, this
Gotta
ain't
control
that's
the
it.
child. Just to say real quick, not to interrupt, get this child listening. I'm not going, but hey, if I put my child in church, I'll be able to get some kind of conformity going in their head. That's the confirmation of conforming the child's brain into that. Just being able to follow directions, follow the rules, and following the standards, and all of that nonsense. But yeah, it's crazy, brother.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of always been the rebel child, you know what I'm saying? Because, I've always thought about things logically. So I'm like, okay, all the information y'all presenting to my little old self, my little soul always kind of been, I guess, seeping through. I'm like, this ain't really making sense. I'm like, got two different religions, all of a sudden I'm, just supposed to do this one. So I'm in church. I'm like, oh, okay, y'all talking about, first off, I was like confused about God and Jesus. All right, what's the difference between the two? Oh, well, God is God and Jesus is God's son in the flesh, in whatever, Jesus is God's son. Okay. All right, well, there's verses in there you showing me that says, oh, okay, we're all children of God. Hmm. told my mom, I said, Jesus is God's son, and we're children of God. Ain't that my brother? And when I
When
was
I was
little, I
little,
was
I was
like,
like,
if
if
this
this
motherfucker can
motherfucker can
heal,
heal,
so
Ooh,
can
so
I.
can I.
that's right.
So here we are. So I always really wholeheartedly believed in that. I'm like, nah, y'all done told on yourselves. Either all of this shit is true or none of it is true. Y'all can't nitpick what y'all want to, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, this ain't really adding up, you know what I'm saying?
So understanding that the Christ is basically the energy, and then when they try to put it outside of us into the book of or into religion, it's trying to tell you that hey, you're not the power. The power is outside of you. So we don't understand and get to the things like what you're teaching. Showing you that the power is in you. It's crazy.
Exactly. Exactly. And so, yeah, so I'm questioning things at an early age. I'm like, yeah, this isn't making sense. So, yeah, so in college, I was uh, really doing a lot of meditation, yoga, spiritual stuff. Now, mind you, I was pretty athletic at an early age. You know what I mean? I was always fast. Like my little soul kind of been. This is who I am. My little soul kind of been showing itself. I was kind of born with my eyes open. My mom was like, your brother during my pregnancy with your older brother, he was just, chill, didn't kick a lot or whatever, he was, kind of came out late, came out with his eyes closed, all she was like I was in, labor for hours, he took a long time to come out pretty much. She was like, you on the other hand, you was in there like he was just ready to get you kicking all the time, da da da. Born with your eyes open. My dad said I was walking at 6 months, you know what I'm saying? Just a little
Little
ball
ball
energy.
energy.
Advanced.
Like my little
Yes.
soul already know what I gotta do. I know just let me at him. Let me at him. I know what I'm supposed to do. My little, so let me get this incarnation rocking and rolling. So yeah, probably undiagnosed ADDDD or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it's just all energy, all energy patterns or whatever. So I came in with those energy patterns, quote unquote. You could probably say, ADD. My parents were like, all right, we got to keep this little dude occupied. He just, big old ball. So they threw me in track, all the sports. I played track, basketball, football my whole life, Track was really my favorite sport and probably my best one I was, good at. Uh, Next up was football. I went to college for football on scholarship. I had an academic scholarship, but I played football in college. Just university called Texas Lutheran University. You can probably check me out, Google me or whatever. You'll probably see my photo with me, with a little box top or whatever. But yeah, I was like the starting cornerback slash free safety, whatever, for like the since like my freshman year. So mind you, I'm an athlete or whatever. I get into college, I'm on an academic scholarship. As soon as I woke up second semester, I'm the I'm still playing football. I had ended up quitting my junior year, after I was about to start my senior year season, and I had quit because it just got too much to, you know, the contrast was getting so thick and so, to where I was going so far on my spiritual journey that my regular, everyday this college stuff and all was the very opposite of what I'm trying to accomplish. So, I'm like, damn, I'm
Damn, I'm
still
still
here.
here.
I
Just
didn't
to
get
clarify,
bamboozled.
just to
Huh?
clarify what you're saying, so your spiritual journey was so important at the time. You felt the connection to that versus everything with the education, and you're not saying that hey, I don't need to know this, and that, but the spiritual journey was more important, and you finding yourself and being able to get to the things like that you're doing now. Healing others, so on and so forth.
Right, correct, and college was still worthwhile, it was great experiences, not knocking college at all, if you go in there, and you know what you want to do and you know what you need, whatever, and college is a tool for you to get that done and perfect by all means. But, it's a lot of people, I didn't been in the institutions, a lot of people in there just wandering around mindlessly. If you don't have a declared major, then you really, you're just waving the red flag saying, hey, I'm wasting my time. Like, so but we know how that happens. You get a teenager, somebody that's 18, 19 ain't really ready to make huge decisions like that with the amount of money, So they got me. I went to a very good school. It was top 15 in the nation as far as academics or whatever, and it was really good. I learned a lot, and I really appreciate it because my spiritual journey took off in college. So I really appreciated it. It's just the academic side. I could care less because I was like, oh, that was just the mindset of me. Getting swindled, bamboozled, and tricked. You know what I'm saying? Lied to at the time. Like, oh, okay, no, I need college. You know how I go. Like, thought I needed it at the time. You know what I'm saying? They pushed like we need it. All right, after high school is college, or military. You know what I mean? So just those thought forms. I'm like, oh, okay. But so while I'm in there, I'm like, oh, okay. Luckily, my dad looked out for me. He was like, "No, you need to get it in computers. Computers is the future. It's always gonna be job security. Everybody need computers. Every job gonna have computers, and they're gonna need somebody to know how to fix them and work them." I'm like, "Okay, boom, bet." So luckily, didn't waste my time. Just took a little longer than normal to get my degree because I was on the spiritual journey. So I'm telling you, I'm a football player over here. In the papers, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm excelling in football, making all these tackles, whoop de whoop, making plays, leading my campus to, wins and
Wins and
stuff like
stuff like
that.
that.
What team? What team? If you don't mind me asking, or if you just don't want to say, that's fine. What college did you attend, and what team were you playing the football for?
Texas Lutheran University, Texas Lutheran Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So, lead my team to victories. Same dude is over here practicing telekinesis before big games. I'm over here in the park moving the wind. You know what I'm saying? Doing all this stuff. I was waking up every day, going before class, meditating before my classes at this park, by the riverside. Yeah, that's what my journey looked like. Crazy, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here in the front lawn, in front of the library, in the lotus pose, meditating. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
I'm
yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
was
I was
just
Love
just
it.
that was
that
just a
was just a
little
little
rebel in me.
rebel
I'm
in me.
like,
I'm like,
yo, motherfucker, yo, trying to freak people out on purpose. It's like, oh, what is Bo
oh,
doing?
doing
Head of the
head of the
football
football
team,
team.
meditating. I'm like, you know what? It feel good right now. I need some vibes. I need to soak up this sun or whatever. Like, oh, dude, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So spiritual journey took off. Whatever. At the end of college, I had told my professor, I'm like, man, it just, I had quit football, you know what I'm saying? Was meditating a lot, doing a lot of yoga. Had, broke up with my ex during college. She was like one of the best basketball players on the women's basketball team or whatever. And then it was just she wasn't on the spiritual path I was, you know what I'm saying? She was hardcore Christian and I'm over here, I'm over here trying to put her on game, all the stuff I'm learning. Just with my, I'm over here coming back to and I'm like, hey, UFOs, conspiracies, all this stuff. She calling her mama like, yeah, my boyfriend's talking about you. Oh, well, they trying to have an intervention with me. I'm like,
I'm like,
nah,
nah,
man.
man.
They thought you was really nuts.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
think
I
I'm
think
really
I'm
nuts,
really.
you know what I'm saying? So I've been that crazy dude, used to it, you know what I mean? But I just know what it is, and I know spiritual truths, and I know who I am, you know what I'm saying? If I can leave you with anything, let me remind you, you're not the mind, you're not the body, you're not the thoughts, you're not the emotions, you're the soul. You're the soul. Twin Hearts meditation as well. Twin Hearts meditation. Twin Hearts meditation. You can Google it. It's a secret ancient meditation for enlightenment. It will heal any and all diseases, the physical body, mental, physical, anything, all that over time. Daily practice, it will all get knocked out over time because it's a secret ancient meditation for enlightenment. So, enlightenment is the main goal. You know what I'm saying? You're going to reach that. You just keep going. So just a byproduct of that, on the way, your body, the physical body gets healed, and then your supernatural abilities start to unlock and all that stuff. Which is why, my journey started looking like what it was looking like. I'm just going about my business, meditating and doing my practice, and all of a sudden, powers and stuff is unlocking and being guided, whoop de whoop. Now I'm waving my hands, healing cancer, and that's not even the craziest thing I be doing. You know what I'm saying? But that's just what it looks like when you start to get in tune with yourself and you know who you are. So into the college, I told my professor, I was like, I had quit football by then. I'm meditating daily. I had broke up with my ex, you know what I'm saying? They all thinking I'm all crazy, whatever. I'm just like, nah, we grow on to be two different people that just can't work. It will never work. She's still trying to think talking about what we're gonna do after college, get married. I'm like, that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? What we gonna tell our kids? You know what I'm saying? Hey, your mother's Christian, your daddy is batshit crazy, and be meditating and be in different realms and stuff.
Yeah, that
Not
part.
gonna work. You gotta think
Snatch a
about
child
the
up
two
and take
hearts.
him with you.
Yeah, it's a disconnect. It
Oh,
just is what it is. You're not the one. I'm not the one for you. So broke that off. Uh, Told my professor, I'm like, hey, I learned Reiki at the time. I was like, man, I'm trying to be, I told my professor, it was during my senior seminar, I was having trouble. They're like, man, like, because my professor, he had saw the whole transition. He was like, man, your first semester, your freshman year, you took my class, whatever, you got an A, you was doing good, you got A's and B's. I had a 3.5 or like a 3.0, whatever I was rocking and rolling. I'm on an academic scholarship, you know what I'm saying? Then boom, all of a sudden, I done had that aha moment. I done woke up, saw that video, whatever, and then started, truth seeking after that. And then uh, it was a wrap. So, yeah, told my professor I'm trying to be. Oh, yeah, he saw the transition of me being, like doing good, being in tune, all entrenched in my studies and stuff. That's when I still thought I needed it, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, oh, nah, this life is a whole lot more to life than being this computer, program when I get out of here and just having enough money to pay my bills and all that. I'm like, that's not the life I'm living. You know what I'm saying? Now I was plagued with the question, all right, what now? If we know that's not it, what now? So boom. Uh yeah, so he's like, what's going on? I was like, man, I broke down. I was like, man, I'm trying to be a Reiki healer. I'm gonna be a Reiki healer. I'm this college stuff. I'm just trying to get it out the way, because I was like his star pupil when I started off. Like I was real, because anything I do, I'm gonna put my all into. You know what I'm saying? So I just took that same energy that was with college courses and all that stuff and applied it to, my spiritual practices and all that. So it's the same energy. You know what I mean? Same energy. I'm, taking into a football game, leading teams to victory. That new that new football game is a pranic healing session. All right, boom. Oh yeah, all these negative thought forms on this person's basic chakra. Yep, that's out the window. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be undefeated in this pranic healing season. Let's get it. So I told him I'm gonna be a Reiki healer. This college and stuff. Whoop de whoop. So had learned the Reiki healing. Then fast forward after I had graduated, I was just trying to pay my loans back. So I had started working at a car dealership. I was washing cars. I was at the car wash section, washing the cars, and I worked my way up to, supervisor, whatever. And then just trying to pay my loans back, whatever, because, you got that 6 months grace period until you got to, start paying them until they kick in. So just paying my loans back at the car dealership. Then I got into the school system, 2018. Now, when I started working at the school, that's when I learned about pranic healing. So I was a certified Reiki master at the time. I was doing Reiki healings or whatever, I learned it, tried on myself. I had a toothache one time, like, I feel a little relief, but, I don't know, it's still there. 2018, I had saw a video, Master Co, waving his hands, 10 minutes, and this lady couldn't bend over, you know what I'm saying? Couldn't bend but like 15, 20 degrees, and then boom. After the healing, she bent down past 90 degrees. It was damn near, she damn near folded in half, you know what I mean? After 15 minutes of healing or whatever. So I'm like,
beautiful.
yeah, so I'm like, I'm this energy healer now, this Reiki healer, but I don't care about titles. I deal with the results. You know what I'm saying? Results. So seen that video, okay, what is pranic healing? I gotta learn this. Then I seen another video, of Grandmaster Chalk Sui, the founder of pranic healing, waving his hands for 5 minutes and, people getting up out of wheelchairs, videos on my YouTube or on my well, YouTube too, but on my TikTok page as well. So after that, I'm like, whoa, like I always knew, but I'm like, I need, this is somebody I say, I know the powers of the human body, and I know what the human body and the soul is really capable of, but I need a true life example, and that was the closest one I had. I'm like, yo, this dude, I was so kind of torn that I, didn't catch Grandmaster Charles Sui while he was still in the body. He left the body in 2007. But I'm like, man, this dude on YouTube, and why ain't everybody learning this? So he said, anybody can do this. What I'm doing, just get his book. And this is the book right here. Yeah, it's called Miracles Through Pranic Healing now. But this is, the version I got when I started.
Did you want to read some of the book? I can go to whatever page you want to read from, so just so they can go along with what you're going through, or just so they can see. Or do you want?
I'll
You don't
probably
have
think of
to.
some
Yeah.
references in a few. Not right now.
Okay. Are you aware of Fallen Gone healing practice that they practiced at one time in China?
Fallen Gone?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I never heard of that. What's that?
Well, it was a healing practice similar to Reiki and um, the pranic healing, dealing with like the energies moving, using certain movements and things. They practiced it. I did a build on it last year. They actually practiced it in China, and they actually killed over 50 million people for practicing it because they banned it because it was healing too many people. It literally was taking people out of their deathbed. So the emperor at the time, he banned it, and they brutalized and killed all these people because they refused to stop doing it because it was literally healing people, mind, body, and soul.
Yep, Grandmaster Charles. They'll never tell you because they really have to deal with humanity, and humanity is evolving, and we only at certain levels and stuff like that. But if we can, we as we on here, we pretty woke on this, on this channel as it seems to be, and yeah, Grandmaster Charles Sui, you'll probably never find out unless you know it. But his teacher and people around him, yeah, they doing things. Get Autobiography of a Yogi. Autobiography of a Yogi. Read that book, please. That'll tell you exactly what's going on the planet and what you exactly capable of. Yeah, waving his hand, pranic healing. People can come back from the dead. That's in Autobiography of a Yogi. Plenty of instances where they raise people from the dead. I had all these videos and all this information on my other TikTok page, but Autobiography of a Yogi, they over there trying to run off to the Himalayas, Yogananda,
Mm.
and the security guard supposed to tell you this is all documented, real stuff that happened. Autobiography means it's accounted, person's true accounted, life or whatever. So, said a yogi out in the Himalayas, security guard was looking for a murderer. They worked at the train station. They had called Yogananda trying to sneak off to the Himalayas to find a guru master, to teach them all the deep spiritual practices, whatever, reach enlightenment, samadhi and all that. Stopped him because they was only 12 years old, so he stopped him. He's like, "Oh, you guys are trying to run off to the Himalayas and be great yogis. I'll tell you a story about a great yogi." It was like a couple months ago. We was looking for a murderer, so we was running through the woods or whatever, and they rolled up on the dude. Now, context in India, out there, and it's the late 1800s, I believe.
Good
1800s.
old Honduras at the time. Mm-hmm.
You said what?
I said good old Honduras at the time. Hindustan.
Yeah. So, yeah. So they was looking for a murder in the woods or whatever, and then everybody in India or at that time, it's a lot of homeless people, beggars, and all that stuff. So somebody that's homeless and a beggar is probably gonna look the same as a yogi. You know what I'm saying? Because they both probably don't got much clothes on. A yogi probably just got a little piece of cloth on his private area. You know what I'm saying? He out there meditating. You know what I'm saying? Look, if you didn't see him in the lotus pose, you probably just think it's some homeless dude. You know what I'm saying? So they look similar. So they rolled up
Mm-hmm.
on this dude. He was sitting under a tree. He got up when he seen him and started walking off. And they was like, "Hey, stop, sir, stop running." And they got close. He started running. They was like, "Hey, sir, stop." They caught up with him. Boom. Now the security guards, the police officers at the time, it's, late 1800s or whatever, they didn't have guns. They had, big old axes. So they swung the axe and boom, cut his arm off. He was hanging on by a thread. Now immediately when they did that, Dude turns around. He said, "Hey, I'm not the murderer you're looking for, but it's all good. Don't sweat it. Just tomorrow, meet me under this tree, and we'll take it from there. You guys will be good." So whole time he's just that's immediately after they cut this dude arm off and is hanging on by a thread, blood gushing or whatever. He's literally talking to
Still
him.
alert. Still alert.
Yeah,
Got all
still
this
like
energy.
yeah. Immediately when he finished, stopped talking or whatever, they dropped to his feet and started prostrating, aka, kissing his feet, kind of bless him, whatever, like, oh, sorry, because they immediately knew he was a yogi. Why? Now, here's the context. He starts talking to him. First off, he's talking in a calm manner. He's not even screaming. So they know he's a yogi. They was like, oops, this ain't the murder we was looking for because he ain't even screaming or nothing. So we know he done mastered the mind and body or whatever. And then he's like, we didn't even say anything about a murder. So he's showing you clairvoyance right there that he read your mind or whatever. That's why he got up and started walking off because he's like, oh, these people looking for a murderer. I'm not him. And so he's like, I'm just trying to mind my business and just keep on meditating right now. So they chopped his arm off. He's like, oh, yeah. So they was like, oh, damn, we didn't say nothing about a murder. Clairvoyance with the whoop. So he said, hey, meet me over here at this tree like a day or two from now. They met her. Next day, they met him at the tree. He was over there waving with both hands. They was like, oh, shit, his arms grew back. This is a real event that happened. And it's just plenty stories like that in Autobiography of a Yogi. This is just what it is. This is just, why are we on this, live stream right now? Because humanity, it's time to wake up. We like to talk a lot. And that's what, kind of why I'm on my mission. I'm like, everybody be talking about God body. I'm like, I haven't seen, what have you done? What have you done?
Say it,
Who
brother.
have you healed? Who have you, how many souls have you transformed? What have you done? Nobody's doing no service. We know a lot. That time's over. It's not the information age no more. It's time to wake up. It's time to, we in the practical age. It's time to practice. A lot of people can know about this book, can go tell everybody, oh, Brian, people can grow their arms back. Yeah, that's really going on around the world. We just in the shadows in the Western hemisphere, but this is just regular deals. Like you go to India, they're like, yeah, people can grow their arms back. What you talking about? You trying to get something to eat? Yeah, oh yeah. Grandmaster Choco Suit, yeah, he bilocated. I talked to him in the other day, you know what I'm saying? And he had a whole nother body generated in Montana. This is real deal events, stuff that's going on, but nobody will tell you this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, brother. So when you said that, first thing came to my mind, well, damn, that sounds like a cloning. Is that the same practice that could be now? I've done builds on like, incubators, clones, test tube babies. These things are definitely 100% proven and real. But from what you're saying, it sounds like also having the ability with certain meditations, so on and so forth. I have never gotten into pranic healing until I found your page. That's why I was so excited. I'm like, oh my god, because I do Reiki healing as well. So when it comes to the pranic, I had never heard of it until I saw your page. That's why I was so excited. Like, oh my gosh, brother, I love this. But it sounds like it's something that could be used in a form of cloning as well, especially having like some stem cells and being able to activate. And I don't know. That just I don't know. I'm fascinated with what you saying. That just came to my mind about the
Yeah,
cloning.
so what it is you gotta, you're not the mind, you're not the body, you're not the thoughts, you're the soul. What is that? You're being of pure light, pure energy. When you was born in a little honeycomb, what it looked like, about at least probably 150 to 200 other souls. Well, probably think about 25 to 50 is what you actually born with. Little balls of energy, white light, pure energy. Those little beings of light, us, our little tiny souls, with the ability to create universes and worlds and galaxies and planets. That has to go through physical incarnation to master your true power and all that stuff.
Yes.
That little being of light is light. So when we come to the physical realm, you master yourself. What is yourself? Light. You master the manipulation, the materialization of photons and stuff like that. That's why I can heal. Pranic healing is just the gateway to higher spiritual teachings, aka you then learn pranic healing. What is pranic healing have to do? You know what I'm saying? Meditation on twin hearts is what we have to do to be powerful pranic healers. Anybody can right out the gate learn pranic healing. You're going to heal that headache in 5 minutes. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be in a wheelchair, have no legs, have no arms, whatever. You wave that nub or whatever. You picture you have an energetic body. So you got an energy hand, even if you don't got no physical one. You just picture that little energetic hand waving that green energetic light or whatever, and that headache gonna go away. It just is
Real,
what it is.
real quick,
Everything is
B.
energy.
So I don't want.
What's
To, I
up?
don't. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to verify. I didn't know that you did YouTube. I found you on TikTok, as you know. That's where I reached out to you. I hadn't seen you on YouTube, so could you please provide your YouTube channel so I can put it in the chat?
Oh yeah,
Oh
most
yeah, most
certainly.
certainly.
It should
It
be
should be
D
D
underscore
underscore
soul
soul
13.
13.
Can one of you guys look it up, grab the channel, and put it in the chat for us? I'd appreciate it. All right, go ahead, brother. So sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to grab that. Thank you.
Yeah, so pretty much it's just when you know more meditation, you mastering the soul, you're mastering the manipulation of light and photons or whatever. So when you do that, you have the ability to. That's why autobiography of yoga, Yogananda's teacher, when he eventually ended up finding his true master and guru or whatever, he he was able to resurrect his body. That's when you reach a certain level of samadhi and you're able to master these things, and everything is light. So you know this is just light densely compacted. So you can take this body to another dimension, you know what I'm saying? It'll break down, and rematerialize somewhere
Or
else. It's
else it's
actually
actually
how
Oh
it
my
is
gosh.
happening. You learn
you learn
dematerialization,
dematerialization,
materialization of light
materialization of light
photons.
photons.
That's really
That's
what it
really
is.
what
It's
it is.
just a
It's just a
yogic
yogic
science.
science.
To
To
do all
do
this
all this
stuff,
stuff, you would
all you need to do is Kriya Yoga or Arhatic Yoga. Pranic healing, pranic healers, true masters are Arhatic yogis. You can look that up. Arhatic Yoga or Kriya Yoga is how all of these beings are doing things like, you know, materializing out of thin air, generating multiple bodies in different places or whatever. It's just manipulation of light. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yes.
yes, everything is light. We know that. So once you're able to
to
master
master
how it
how it
works,
works.
your
Have
body
Your
you?
is
body
light.
is like,
The sister is asking, have you heard of validation incarnate, brother? I have not. Are you familiar with that?
I have not
I have
heard of
not
that.
heard of that.
Okay. Maybe you can give us a little information on this, Susan. I'll look it up. But the brother hasn't either. Yeah, I've never heard of it. I'm interested
Yeah,
though.
Yeah, it
sounds
sounds
interesting.
interesting.
Like very. And yes, we talk about that, brother, when it comes to that. I always try to talk to them about creating the proper density in yourself, being able to elevate. Then you can spiritually enlighten yourself enough to where you're getting that density that takes you to that place of elevation. So, I mean, this is just awesome, all the things you're talking about. I definitely want to have you kind of keep talking about this. I just wanted to highlight her question real quick. Something else I want to ask you. That's why I interrupted you. I'm sorry. I don't know, forgot just that quick. But go ahead, brother. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So some more stuff on my journey, I guess. So when I started pranic healing, uh I read the book, cover to cover, and then boom, I was right out the gate. I was practicing, experimenting on myself and my girlfriend. My girlfriend was my true guinea pig, and right now I don't really talk about it too much, my first little patients and all that stuff, But when I had started my healing, my first, few persons I worked on, was this girl named Simone. She had cancer, or whatever, and is the video I have on my page. It's just a real touchy subject, but that's when I kind of got serious about pranic healing, and it was just from there it got a little, it got very deep and spiritual, whatever, and I kind of, I don't really talk about it too much, but I feel like uh we on this platform, I'll give y'all some secrets. I'm actually working on a documentary right now, you know what I mean? Because I come online and I try and, put my information and all the stuff on the socials, but you see I had got a band or whatever, so I'm actually going to try and put a documentary together and put all my healing cases, a documentary, all my documented cases that I have from healing or whatever, and
And
she
she
was
was
really the
really the
first
first
one.
one.
That's beautiful, brother. That's exciting as well. I heard you mention that on TikTok. I think the first video I think I saw of yours, it was talking about them closing your page because you had put something. Can you talk about that a little bit? You said that you had the people talking about their healing, so on and so forth, and they removed it just because of the people doing what they got. Like what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
I'm still trying
still
to
trying to.
figure out what the deal with that was. but I don't know. So yeah, I had learned, and I was like, man, all right, boom, I know how to heal people. I know this works or whatever. But so, all right, who's sick around me? Ain't nobody about to be suffering around me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to heal everybody. So I was like, all right, who's, suffering the most around me? So I had found a friend from high school, and she had cancer. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, boom, let me see if I can, help her out. Started working on her, and she was in hospice, and I was working on her. It was like last July. Yeah, it was just this was just like last summer. The things happened really fast. So last summer, hit her up. I think it was around July. She was in hospice already at the time. I kind of caught it when it was too late. Started working on it too late. But yeah, so they gave her like what, I think like 2 months to live. Hospice. I don't know. I think hospice be like weeks, really weeks to months or whatever. If not, any day or whatever.
Yeah, it's days to weeks. That means that yeah, they're definitely down to like the final stages when they're in hospice.
Yeah, that's what I was coming to learn. But yeah, so they had gave her like a month or two. So it was July. I started working on her. I hit her up. I was like, hey, I do this pranic healing stuff now. I think I can help you. And so I had worked on her, starting around like July. And she was like, hey, I'm just trying to make it to see my kid take his, first step into school and starting school. And I was like, all right, bet, you gave me uh, an objective, and we're gonna complete this objective. So was working on her, started July. They gave her, 1 to 2 months. She was like, hey, I'm just trying to see my kids start school in August. Fast forward, I was able to help her, see him start school. And then she eventually ended up passing away October 24th, I believe. And I think, no, October 21st. And then, so she almost made it to Halloween damn near. So what is that? July, August, September, October. Yeah, so they gave her like 1 to 2 months, and she made it like damn near almost, 4 or whatever. So I'm like, oh, that was a win. Her whole deal was like, I'm just trying to make it, to see my kids go to school. But, we accomplished that. And, in my head, I was like, she had passed away. She passed away. And I was like, man, I feel like I failed. You know what I'm saying? So right out the gate, I'm doing chronic healing, all that stuff,
Well, you didn't have time. She was she was kind of far gone. That would require a lot. I would think, to help a person with the energy healing either way. Maybe 3 or 4 people at the same time practicing on her that might have been able to do it. But yeah, brother, definitely. So don't feel like yeah, you did what you could do. It probably helped her along the way though. Trust and believe.
Yeah, exactly. So that was all pivotal to the story, you know what I'm saying? I had been healing other people as well, you know what I'm saying? My girlfriend, my girlfriend don't have period cramps no more, headache. It ain't no headaches, toothaches, period cramps in my household, you know what I'm saying? That's where we at. My girlfriend, I was that time of the month. I'm over here, whoop de whoop de whoop. She in the other room. Hey, how you feeling over there? "Oh, okay, I'm feeling a little better. All right, damn. How you feel now? Oh, they gone. Booms, so that's what my life looked like right now. So I was healing people already, you know what I'm saying? She just had the most severe case, and exactly like you said. I had just caught it too late. She had been sickly since high school. She had lupus since high school. So, and it's all energy. So the amount of energy it took to build up this problem is gonna be around the same amount of energy it's gonna take to get rid of the problem. You know what I mean? So uh
Absolutely.
right.
And
So
we,
it's all energy. So I'm beating myself up. I'm like, oh, I kind of feel because I'm over here like, oh yeah, we're gonna take this cancer away. Well, she already is karma involved. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole myriad of things. She was already ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Just by her alone telling me I'm just trying to see my kid go. She was at peace and she was already getting. Her soul was like, hey, I'm ready to eject. You know what I'm saying? So in those instances, what I've come to learn later, you know what I'm saying? I'm still, learn that. Oh, okay, that being the case, the soul was, we have a life set up, we have a myriad of things that we do and sign up for, you know what I'm saying? And That's kind of, you know, what her soul signed up for, those experiences we signed, you know, it's, but I was feeling like I failed, and that wasn't the case. So it got real spiritual after that. So what happened is, you know, she passed on the 21st. I beat myself up for a little bit. I was like, damn, I failed, you know what I'm saying? Simone, whatever. And boom. She came to me during meditation, you know what I mean? It's clear as day. She was like, hey, boy, you better pick your goddamn head up, motherfucker. Because she was the first person that had to start filming. I didn't want to film anybody, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm about to, you know, at that time, I was like, I'm about to make a documentary, you know what I'm saying? At some point, I'm like, I need to track all this information or whatever, because I'm like, I thought this shit was normal, but I'm like, I seem to be the only little black kid out here, you know, that's actually healing people or whatever. I'm like, I thought, you know, pranic healing is pretty widespread, but I'm like, in America and in, you know, places around me at least, you know, it's really not that, you know, popular. So I'm like, I need to spread it, you know. So I'm like, I'm gonna start recording these sessions so I can have, you know, documented evidence and all this stuff, so I can, you know, prove to people, you know, that this is really. So I was like, hey, I asked her, hey, you want me to, can I film or whatever? I was like, you know, I was kind of shy about it, but she was like, nah, turn that camera on, go ahead. She was like, cause we gonna have a story to tell, and she said that. She was like, cause we gonna have a story to tell.
She had that faith. That was half of the healing right there. I know that's right.
Exactly. She was like, because we're going to have a story to tell. So I was like, boom. When she passed, I was like, damn, you know, like, we ain't got no story. Like, I feel like, oh, you know. And she came to me in meditation. She was like, motherfucker, what's wrong with you? We won. We succeeded. You know what I'm saying? We did, you know. I passed in peace. You know, I was able to provide her relief while she was, you know, going through all that. She passed on. She was ready to go already. You know, she had to come remind me. She was like, boy, you better pick your chin up, muff. She was like, and we still do got a story to tell, you know what I mean? She was like, this pranic healing work, you know what I mean? Don't think this is a loss. This is not a loss, you know what I mean? So she was on the other side, you know, giving me this information, whatever, we interacting and stuff. And then she was like, you need to go on TikTok and spread this. So I already had a TikTok. I was on there fooling around and stuff. I'm really on there just like, you know, I'm on there mindlessly scrolling all day like everybody else. And then she came to me in meditation and she was like, bro, I didn't know. We didn't lose. What you crying for? Like, this was a win. I made a whole little post on her page, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a whole thing, you know what I mean? Yeah, so yeah, she had came to me in meditation. I was like, okay, boom. She wanted me to go on TikTok, and she was like, "You, bro, you didn't. There wasn't no loss. You actually healed me. Now go heal the world, fool." I was like, "You right, you right. Let's get it." So I got on my TikTok. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna push pranic healing. Just TikTok is about to be about pranic healing. You know what I'm saying? Forget me. I'm about to show the world what is possible with all this stuff with pranic healing. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as I did that, she passed on the 21st. My TikTok page went viral off of my first little video of pranic healing, showing people how to, you know, how energy works. And I had them the little apple experiment. I was like, all right, hold your hand up. Say apple in your hand 5 times. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, boom, hold your other hand up and feel different. People were like, oh, I feel an apple in my hand. I was like, yeah, that's energy, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. And that's how pranic healing works. We heal the energy by the other whoop de whoop. That took off. You know what I'm saying? It got 500,000 views. You know. And you know, not that long.
Can
And
we
I
do?
got
Can we do one of those? One of your healing practices, just so people that are listening can maybe see the effect. I definitely wanted you to take time to do that. Yeah.
yeah. So we could do the apple experiment. You know, yeah. So I'll teach you guys do the apple experiment and teach y'all how to scan. So the apple experiment. You know, you can hold both your hands out and in your right hand say apple 5 times. Let's do it. Apple, 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 apple. I don't know if that was 5. I think that was 5. All right. You can do it again. All right. Apple, 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 apple. All right. Now, compare hands. You know, if you're sensitive to energy, you might feel the hand with the apple in it is a little slightly heavier. You know, you probably feel the apple hand is slightly heavier. Now, regardless.
Yes.
Now, take your hands and go like this. Disintegrate, disintegrate, disintegrate. Stick them out, compare again. Now, if you're sensitive to energy, you might feel that it kind of, it balanced out. The energy is kind of back to normal. It's leveled out. And that's the experiment. That was a simple experiment that we do in pranic healing. In a lot of the courses and and teachings and talks and stuff, to get people to see how energy works and just to feel energy. Most people are pretty sensitive and usually can feel it. Now, another thing.
Absolutely.
Another thing you can do, I'll teach y'all how to scan. Now, in pranic healing, this is what I'm doing all day. This is how we kind of see how our patients are doing or whatever, and this is how we locate problem areas or whatever, anything like that. You can always check how somebody's doing, check how yourself is doing or whatever. We scan chakras. So scanning is all, is just taking your hands. You have chakras in the centers of your palms. So you can feel energy with those whenever you're having sensations and all that stuff. That's your hand chakras, and you have chakras on the tips of your fingers. So pranic healing, we do a little exercise, warm our arms and hands up and stuff like that. We usually, touch the center of our palms where our hand chakra is. Anytime you tap a chakra, touch it, press it, that to a certain degree, activates the chakra, wakes it up a little bit, aka the chakra, gets a little bigger and brighter, starts spinning, and wakes up or whatever, starts spinning and, getting ready for action per se. So, that just wakes them up, get your hands a little more sensitive to that energy. And then if you try the Apple experiment, you might be able to feel it a little more, but scanning. So if you want to see how your chakras are doing at any time, you would just go like this. Let me feel B Soul's basic chakra. Maybe you're wondering if, okay, all right, how my finances do? How's my basic chakra doing? Can I, you know, or is somebody else's basic chakra, are they having problems with money? This is how I find out, how people's finances are doing. This is kind of why I end up going and doing Shreem brzee, was because of this. I was getting a lot of people getting healing sessions and I'm scanning. I get down to their basic chakra. I'm like, whoa, what the? It's tiny, it's small, it's weak. Your basic chakra, like we say, controls your ability to make money, located at the base of your spine, your tailbone. They gave us the 7 chakras, for the Western world, it's layers of truth. It's a little bit, accurate, but it's not completely accurate. Your root chakra is actually divided into 2 chakras. The front of it is the sex chakra. The back is the basic chakra. So your basic chakra, your tailbone, your butt, that controls your ability to make money. So if you want to see if somebody can, is having trouble with finances or is making money, check out their basic chakra. So you would say, hey, let me feel my basic chakra. You just take your hands and just keep coming in until you feel something. Let me feel my basic chakra. And just keep going slowly. And then when you feel like a little tingly, hot, cold, a little pushback, like it feels like a little magnetism, just keep going and keep scanning and see if you feel it on the same. And it'll feel like you're touching a little invisible magnetic ball. That's what we call your baseline. That's your baseline. So feel it now. Some people might, be like, oh, my basic chakra, it's just, it's so big. Oh, okay, well, you got to be realistic with yourself, Might not be as accurate as you think. A general, rule of thumb is normal people, normal everyday people, your chakras are usually about 3 to 6 inches. 3 to 6 inches. So it's, usually around like right here.
That's where I was about to say I felt it about maybe about 6 inches or so.
Perfect.
Perfect.
You're
You're
sensitive to
sensitive to
energy,
energy,
and your
and your
chakras is
chakras is
probably,
probably,
in
in
pretty good
pretty good.
conditions. So these higher beings like Grandmaster Chokoksui, all the advanced yogis and people like that, Their chakras are the size of like one of their chakras is the size of a city, you know. Got the aura the size of a planet, you know what I mean? That's what we're dealing with. You know, that's how big your energy body grows when you practice meditation, daily, for years and years and years and years. Your antibody and your chakra steadily growing and growing and getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And boom, now you're clairvoyant and bigger and bigger, 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 boom. Now you're telepathic, bigger and bigger, 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 boom. Now you can biolocate bigger and bigger, 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 boom. You can resurrect the body at will. You walk through walls, instantaneous healing, all that stuff. Your physical, supernatural abilities, just start to unlock, the more that soul grows in the spiritual body and the energy body, chakras grow and expand, they start to unlock. That's why, these masters, you'll never know that they can do things like biolocate and anything like that. Now, let's really look into that. You're not supposed to go around flaunting, spiritual abilities. That's why anybody that's a true practitioner, if you see anybody showing off, you know what I mean, they only at a certain level, you know what I mean? True you know, true
Absolutely.
disciples, yogis, practitioners, true energy arts and higher teachings know that they showing off. All that stuff is real. People really out there levitating and doing, but if they showing off or if they making money off it, well, it's just use discernment. You know, they're only at a certain level. You know what I mean? Because what it is if they're doing that, they haven't mastered one of the last spiritual teachings as far as the soul goes. When you hit certain levels of initiation into the higher soul, when you on your way out the gate of physical incarnations and you going, into your path of being a junior angel, you know what I'm saying, and these beings that are reincarnating come back and all these great spiritual teachers like Grandmaster Choco, so they're even these physical beings that are even spiritually out and more advanced than angels, than certain classes and sects of angels out there. So human beings have extraordinary power. We are very, very, very powerful. That's one thing I'm gonna leave with y'all is you're more powerful than you think. But y'all on here, I'd say y'all as powerful as you know. You know, all these teachings and stuff like that. Pranic healing will teach you how to reactivate and do all this stuff. You know what I mean? So, so. Oh, sorry. Transfer energy thought. Sorry, I just thought I saw a good question. I was invited to a group did about astral travel. Sorry, yes, yeah, all those things, those natural abilities start to unlock, as well as like astral traveling and all of that. You remember what I was talking about?
Yes, you were just speaking on the effects of the healing. I believe I was in the chat as well. Actually trying to see what Sis was saying. She said, "What is tapping?" So I was like, "Tapping." I didn't know what she was saying. And then Suzanne said that she was invited into a group that did palm tapping to transfer energy, thoughts, and travel. I hadn't heard of tapping before, so I don't know if you were talking about that.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Perfect
Perfect
link in
link in
chat.
chat.
Speaking of tapping, so Grandmaster Charles Koksui, at 19 years old, he was already given Shakti Pot. Now, he was around a bunch of great, beings and masters, and he was guided or whatever to his physical teachers on Earth, and they kind of, met up with him, people around him doing things like boom. Grandmaster Choco Sui spent 20 to 30 years with, a group of clairvoyants, people that could see energy. So he knew what color and energy light to use, whatever, and he came up with a protocol for every single disease, ailment, injury, whatever, a protocol for each. Okay, use this color light, that color light, boom, do it this many times, sweep that way, and then boom, that person will be healed. It just is what it is, you know what I'm saying? 1+1 is 2. These are just, metaphysical science, universal laws. You know what I'm saying? Everything is, energy. This is just how energy works, right? So clairvoyance, was watching his own experiments because he could see energy. He was clairvoyant himself, But how clairvoyance works is unless you're a really super advanced high one that is, solid for real, your human mind, if it's not completely cleansed out and you have any ounce of, you know, distorted, negative energy, thought forms, and all that stuff, it distorts things. So you'll see, for example, okay, I see pink light, but to you it might look like pink light with little sparkles of stuff, and they look like butterflies in there or whatever, butterflies or glitter or something. And that person might see pink light and it looks like, oh, it looks like sparkles of, pink flowers. It looks like tiny lotus flowers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Those little sparkles to you look like flowers, and to this person, that pink light with the sparkles to them look like, you know, what's that glitter, or they see butterflies, or I mean they see flowers in a pink light and they see butterflies in the pink light, but they like, oh, I can't discern it. So they had a few other people that could see energy, so everybody can come together and say, hey, what did you see? What did you see? Oh, I saw pink light. Okay, so boom, we all saw the same thing. So he could verify his experiment, so he's just not doing it himself. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I was using this color light, that color light, or whatever, boom, wow. He's the one conducting the experiment, so he can't really use his clairvoyant faculties actually, really like, focusing on seeing and making sure that, what he's seeing is correct. He's doing the healing or whatever. So the other clairvoyants are just focused in, and all right, just my job right now is just to make, see, and verify that what he's doing is, what he thinks he's doing type deal. So had a team of them. Now, these clairvoyants, Mang Mike, Mang Daban, and Mang Nanette. These dudes were his first kind of teachers or whatever, because I was talking about this because somebody said the tapping, right? He was giving Shakti Pot at 19. What does that mean? When you tap an energy center,
Yes.
tapping an energy center, like I said, to some degree, it wakes it up, activates or whatever. Well, he's highly, when your energy body is extremely, big and strong or whatever, and your energy is strong, you can heal or whatever. That's why healing works, but that's where you get healing touch and all that stuff. It's just energy transfer. So if you hear words like Shakti Pot, initiation, or anything like that, blessing, that means somebody is tapping an energy center. What that means, oh, he blessed this person. You see people walking up to yogis and they tap their forehead. Their energy, they're transferring energy. So for the regular person walking by, that yogi coming with their babies and they tapping them, all that stuff, they just blessing them, giving a bunch of healing energy or whatever, so they lives is good and they straight and they looked out for whatever. A disciple getting initiation, a little Shakti pot from a guru or a master, he's transferring energy. So in that moment in time when he's touching you, that they might not talk about it, you might not know what's going on, but for that moment in time, boom, you're having a moment of super consciousness. You're seeing every dimension, every part of the universe. You're going to different parts of the universe. You're seeing X-ray vision. You're seeing 360 vision, everything at one. You're having super consciousness moment. You know what I'm saying? Or they, you know,
That sounds like a
tap.
DMT trip, baby.
Huh?
That sounds like a DMT trip,
Yes, exactly.
right? Mentally.
That's exactly what's going on. They're just awakening your energy center, so your energy can expand. Rapidly, instantaneously. You wouldn't be able to do it on your own. You sitting in meditation, you pulling down energy or whatever, and you're like, oh, I see glimpses of angels and different. It's gradual, but that guru or master has a whole lot more energy than you, so he can just give it to you, real quick. Boom, now you over here. He didn't gave you a Shakti pot, aka a tapping. He tapped you, and now he didn't gave you like 500 meditation sessions in one, equivalent to where it's like, boom, okay, dang. They can literally transfer their consciousness to yours. Like, that guru reached enlightenment, samadhi, aka they're able to leave their body. This is why they have spiritual masters and spiritual teachers, because once you get to being able to leave the body, which is, enlightenment, samadhi, and all that, that's all that means. You're able to consciously leave your body at will. And then when you die, it's Maha Samadhi, it's the last time you physically leave your body for good, you can consciously control all that. That's the whole idea of enlightenment. That's really what you're doing, is be able to control the physical body. And what does that mean? Encased in that, encompassing that is things like resurrection, because they died, but they physical body, you just buried it. They can already have attained the status of, I can generate my light body at will. You know what I'm saying? I can take my light body to different dimensions anywhere like that or whatever. So if I reach that point before I physically died, it doesn't matter, what happens to that body. They can regenerate it at will, and however many they want to. That's where you get, the bilocation, and all that stuff, whatever, because they're able to manipulate light and photons and all that stuff. So they just regenerated at will. But yeah, that's the reason why you have spiritual teacher, because at some point you reach these, levels of, enlightenment and samadhi and stuff, and boom, you're out there, and all this stuff you seeing and places you going, you need somebody to guide you. So they guide, that's what gurus and masters are truly doing. You know what I mean? They guide their students and disciples through the spiritual realm. Because that's the whole idea. We trying to get back there. We went, astral projection, all this. Yeah, that ain't nothing. I'm doing pranic healing. Like I said, these things truly reawaken the more you do pranic healing, twin hearts meditation. Pranic healing and twin hearts meditation, the whole idea is we're pulling down energy. We never use our own energy. There's so much around you. Why would you? You're floating in a sea of energy all the time.
Yes.
What we call that? God, oneness, the universe, whatever
Right.
you call it. You're floating in that oneness that connects you and I. That's why we're connected, because we float in that sea of energy that is us. You know what I mean? You leave the body and you merge back into it, and you're like, oh, okay, this really is me. Yeah, it's not just something we know. Oneness. Oh, I just really love you. No, you are me. You sit down long enough in meditation, you'll see it. You know what I mean? So that's all it is. So you on your spiritual path, you getting back into meditation, all that stuff, and you know, getting into leaving the body and traveling back into the spiritual realm and all this stuff. The master's there to guide you, whatever. So that's how that works. Yeah, so these spiritual masters that was teaching Grandmaster Charles Koksui, Mang Nanette, I believe, he'll walk up to buildings and just put his hands on the electric box and can shut the whole entire power down of a building.
Talking about high energy.
Yeah, high energy. You know what I'm saying? All it is meditation. You keep doing meditation, your energy body is going to grow so big and strong that all of these powers just naturally reawaken. And if you're interested in this and all this stuff, you most likely have already been doing this. As we know, this ain't your first incarnation. Could possibly be, but highly unlikely if you're on this cast or on this channel right now, on this stream. You're an advanced soul probably, and you have already had your recent incarnations. You've probably been, this ain't your first time playing with crystals, learning and being interested in healing and energy and all this stuff, tarot cards, divination, all that stuff. It's because the soul has tendencies and preferences as well. So those younger souls, they're used to 9 to 5. They're still trying to master the physical body. We've already mastered the physical body. That's why we're not worried about it. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're like, oh yeah, give me some meditation, give me some crystals. We looking up now. Those younger souls are still looking down, like, oh, I'm on this planet. What's this planet about? Oh yeah, 9 to 5. I got a job. I just want a good family, yacht, boat. Ooh. We're over here like, what? Do you know that, bro? If you sit in meditation, you can grow your arm back. What, bro? Yeah, you could levitate and all this stuff. Yeah, and that's just the beginning of it. So. Yeah, so spiritual master doing things like main Mike, the main clairvoyant that was helping him out. People walk up to his house one day and they're like, hey, man, Mike invited me over, but I came into his house and he was in the room. He said, hey, I'll be out in a minute. Now they walked into the room like 5 minutes later, and Mang Mike wasn't in there, and they said it was his like little meditation room. It had no doors, like no windows or whatever, something like that. They walked in there. It was like, hey, where the fuck did Mang Mike go? They come back. Hey, they walked around his whole house, scaled the perimeter. They're like, I do not see this mug. It's like the 1980s. So they chilling in his house. They sit there and come back like 5-10 minutes later, and they open the door in the room, and he's just sitting in there in meditation. I'm like, hey, Mike, what was you before they walked in the door? No, but yeah, before they walked in the door and opened it, Mang Mike was already calling. He was like, hey, you can come in now. And they walked in the door. And I was like, hey, where the hell did you go? There is literally nowhere you could have gone when you was in this room. I came to your house, I opened the door and I saw you in the meditation room. They closed it or whatever. And he was like, oops, let me have his privacy or whatever. And then they sat down, waited for him. They came back and he was gone. Then they came back for the third time, opened the door after he called him in, like, hey, you can come in now. He was like, what? How did you even know? So what happened is they're like, where did you go, Mike? There was no way you could have disappeared. Like, what happened was he said that he was like, yeah, my spiritual master had contacted me in meditation, and he needed to have a meeting uh, in the higher dimension or whatever. He said he telepathically or he teleported my body to that dimension, had the meeting, and then teleported him back. Now, some people can do that on their own, but Mang Mike wasn't advanced enough at that time to do that himself, so his master had to teleport him there. So his master actually is the one that brought him. But regardless, you still disappeared. Can't. That's just all that to say. That's what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? This is Grandmaster Charles called Sui, his closest friend that was helping him develop pranic healing. This is the type of stuff they were doing and they were on. You know, this is all on the Global Pranic Healing website. If you just click on, you got a link jump because it's all kind of hidden. You got to really kind of, they be trying to keep stuff secret. They don't really, so, but it's
Definitely.
all public. It's
There's a
all public.
healing practice, brother, with a healing meditation of conjoining the left and the right brain through a meditation practice. There was an experiment done through a CIA agency, and they were literally able to do exactly that: walk through walls, levitate, astral project. They were doing so much just by this meditation practice that they pushed through them through this experimental stage and connecting the left and the right brain.
Yep, I know the man that taught them that taught the CIA that.
Wow, really? That's awesome. When I found that information, brother, I was so fascinated because I'm very much into meditation. I talk a lot over here about manifestation, things of that nature. Controlling your energy and being in perfect balance. These things are so freaking important. And when I found that document, it was just like, wow, this is just confirmation. I think the title of it is like, "We Are the Gods" or "Who the Gods Are" or something of the sort.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, very interesting stuff, man. Yep. Uh, yeah, all that walk through, and all that is, I guess what I'm really trying to say is, how do you do all that? Let's just answer that. How do you do all that? Meditation, truly, yoga. Yoga is just the fast track to rapidly advance the soul. What does that mean? Growing your what rapidly advance the soul. How does this? What does advancing mean? Getting smaller or bigger? The soul ain't. It's a measured something. Is it getting smaller or bigger? Advancing means getting bigger. What's getting bigger? Your soul. What is your soul? Energy. Your soul is energy. That energy is getting bigger and 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 bigger. And expanded consciousness much, that's what the whole idea is. Your expanded conscious, expanding your awareness. Your energy is expanding, aka the soul is advancing. So just don't, it's a lot of words and all this. Don't, your soul is advancing, your soul is consciousness is expanding, right? So because everything is energy. So how yoga and meditation and all this to do all these things, it lies in the breath. The breath. It's extremely deep breathing and extremely deep meditations, but the deep meditations is controlled and by the breath. That is the main gateway to the soul, to higher realms, to all that is the breath. The breath, the breath, the breath. Because why? You're meditating. Okay, but when you're meditating, what are you really focusing on and what are you controlling that makes just sitting, what separates you just sitting down relaxed for 10 minutes versus you meditating for 10 minutes? That breath, visualization, all that stuff, but the breath really. Because once you regulate the energy flow of the body and you put it on autopilot, now the body can is out the way and you can focus on the soul. So body's on autopilot, but how that gets to be is the breath, right? So why, when you're doing deep breathing and all this, just deep breathing is all meditation and yoga, all this arhata yoga kundalini, that's the main objective kind of idea, You're taking in massive amounts of oxygen. You're flooding the body with energy. I mean, with oxygen, flooding the body with air and oxygen. What is that? That's air prana. You're flooding the body with air prana, right? You got air prana, solar prana, earth prana, you know, and etheric prana, you know, or, you know, spiritual, divine energy, energy from God, whatever, you know, ether, you know, those, you know, spiritual energy from God, air prana, solar prana, and ground prana. Those four main sources. So when you're doing deep breathing, you're flooding the body with oxygen. That's air prana, aka you're flooding the body with energy. Your energy is getting super huge. And you keep doing that over and 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 over again. You carry around that big aura. You carry around. So I didn't know what was going on. I'm just meditating and I'm just doing pranic healing. But during pranic healing sessions, you have to channel that energy. You know what I'm saying? We never use our own, like I said. We do our invocations. We got angels blasting us with energy. We're taking in the energy from our environment. We're taking in the energy from God, from our higher soul. So much around you. So many people out here willing to help. Use it. You know what I'm saying? So pranic healing, we have to. So boom, you're getting bombarded with so much energy just on the daily, just doing your regular thing, healing people. Pranic healing, I'm just a pipeline, just a channel, just an instrument of healing. I'm not doing nothing. That's between you and God. I just know how to channel God's energy and boom, hit you like a propeller, you know what I'm saying? Like a rocket booster, like, you know, blast you like a fire hose with energy, hit you with a command man, you know, and then the body heals itself. But so the body's constantly getting flooded with energy. Now, what does that mean? Whenever you're channeling and pulling down energy, your chakras are constantly expanding, getting cleansed out, purified, growing bigger and bigger and brighter, and your chakra petals are spinning faster and faster. Okay, they're getting healthier. So just over time, just doing, you know, meditation, yoga, and pranic healing, energy is constantly flowing through you and flushing things out and growing your chakras. So if you walk around with an energy body this big, I'm over here doing healing, and then boom, he says, "Hey man, pause real quick. I got something to tell you at the end of the session." Okay, you can keep going. And then I'm over here waving my hand. I'm like, I'm seeing something right now. It's very interesting. And then he goes at the end of the session, "Hey man, I was having these, you know, I was seeing images of, you know, me at battle, at war, da da da, and I was da da da." And I'm like, that's interesting, you know, because I'm working on a patient. He's got, you know, some mental problems or whatever. You know, he's bipolar or whatever. It was some mental stuff I had to work on. So I was working on that. I'm like, where is all this aggression coming from? His girlfriend, like, hey, he's cool with you chop it up right now, but he turns into a totally different person when he gets mad. So I'm over here just working on his ajna chakra, cleansing that out or whatever, you know, doing a pranic psychotherapy, working on his, you know, psyche. All of a sudden, he's seeing those images like, yeah, I saw, like, you know, battles, wars, da da da, whatever. And the whole time, I didn't tell him anything, but at the end, I was like, that's interesting. Because I was seeing, you know, Vikings, you know, and I'm like, lo and behold, what we deduced that to was we both was seeing his past lives, you know what I'm saying? And he was a Viking, you know, and lived lives like that. The soul has tendencies. So you get caught up, you know, first start off when you taking on physical incarnations as the soul, you getting used to this physical body. So the first ones you probably driving around, you kind of, you know, that's where you develop your preferences. You come down here, oh damn, I like, you know, being this strong, big Greek God built body, and I'm over here slaying people. I'm so good at battle, I'm so good at war. You come down here again, yeah, give me another one, you know what I'm saying? Until your spiritual guides step in and say, hey, all right, it's time to try something else, you know what I'm saying? It's time to, you know, or whatever, you know what I mean? So we was seeing that, and I'm like, oh, I'm over here pranic healing right out the gate. I'm not worried about none of this stuff is what I'm trying to say. That's just an example of your supernatural abilities and all these things that have been laying dormant start to naturally reawaken or whatever. You know, clairvoyance and seeing past lives and energy and things of that nature, whatever, seeing your spiritual vision is located in your ajna or your forehead chakra, right? That's your spiritual vision. It's like a, you know, projection screen, like a, you know, movie screen or whatever. But it's a chakra nonetheless. So you keep doing pranic healing, twin hearts meditation, all that stuff is constantly getting cleansed out, getting bigger and bigger. So boom, I'm over here doing healing now. My chakra is, you know, cleansed out and big or whatever, so I'm able to see again. It's then shook off all the dirt and all the dust and stuff, and it's opening up. And I'm like, oh damn, I wasn't trying to do none of this stuff, you know. Back in college, I was ability hunting, you know what I mean? Ability chasing. Oh, I want to see energy. I want to see this, that. I had some results, you know. I had times and little glimpses of where I saw to the energy world and stuff like that or whatever, you know. Did shrooms and DMT. I had experiences or whatever. I've been to them realms and all that, but you know, pranic healing, twin hearts meditation is a way to reawaken and reactivate your abilities the natural, safe way, the gradual way. You know, the safe way. You know what I mean? That's how it works. Is your chakra, your third eye chakra, or your forehead chakra is really where it's at. You know, that's why I say the pranic healing chakra is the 11 main ones that we talk about, but it's center of your forehead, right? That's what you see with. How it works is it's like a, you know, it's like a screen. Every chakra has a protective web on it, right? It looks like a little net, like, you know, how a microphone looks like, you know, those, like a net or whatever. And when you see things, you know, it has to open and close. So if you ever seen into the energy world or whatever, that's because at, you know, some point you got relaxed enough to where that little safety net, that screen or whatever that keeps negative stuff from getting in there and all these critters and all this negative energy or whatever that keeps you protective, that protective web, it has to open up and, you know, for you to be able to see, you know. So that little thing, it like kind of opens like a shutter, and then when you're like, oh, what was that, you know, and you look out the corner of your eye and it's gone, that screen closed back up, you know. And then like I said, with DMT and shrooms and all that stuff, you'll be able to see those people aren't hallucinating, they're actually seeing into higher dimensions, higher realms and all that stuff. But the problem with that is DMT and shrooms, it burns holes in your protective web. So you'll be seeing stuff, you know. The problem is you'll be seeing stuff probably 24/7, or you won't be able to control it. You'll just be getting bombarded, you know, and you'll be seeing everything like, who's that in the corner? Oh my God, what? Oh yeah, you know, you won't be able to, you know, open and close it and see at will. So you'll be seeing things, you know, you probably don't want to, and you know, it'll be seeing when you're not trying to, but it burns holes in them, and that's kind of, you know, it damages your chakra. So it's just, you know, not a great way, you know. It's just, I would just recommend, you know, uh just doing meditation. Twin hearts meditation will open that, you know, you'll have clairvoyance again and stuff. uh that's just the safer route. But you know, I don't knock, you know, DMT, shrooms and all that, because you know, I'm all for to each his own, man. You came down here to incarnate and have fun, do what you want with your body, you know what I'm saying? I was over here, I'm, you know, I was the biggest stubborn, you know, spiritual practitioner. I'm like, oh, nobody can't tell me that. No, I'm taking these shrooms, I'm trying to see, I'm trying to go to these realms or whatever. So but yeah, so just I recommend do it the safe way, you know. Twin hearts meditation, things will, you know, open up gradually when they're supposed to, in divine timing and, you know, in a safe manner. Because what the problem with shrooms is they're actually seen into those realms, but the difference between that person on shrooms or whatever and, you know, DMT, they didn't get there the spiritual way, which is through meditation. So through meditation, your energy body gets refined and all that stuff. So for you to be able to see stuff, your chakra is cleansed out. So all your other trash in your body is probably cleansed out too. So there's what we call thought entities and thought forms, whatever. There's, you know, negative entities or whatever. Those, you know, do exist or whatever. Negative entities, you know, we don't like to use the term demons or anything like that in pranic healing, because you know that it gives it too much energy more than, you know, it's just inaccurate, you know what I mean? Demon makes it seem, you know, like that entity has a whole lot more power than it actually does. But you know, those negative entities are, you know, extremely weak, you know, and easily destroyed. But if you don't do it, you know, through pranic healing and meditation or whatever, you know, you just go doing the DMT and shrooms and stuff. If you're not right, you know, within yourself, that's where you get the bad trip, because you're actually seeing those entities and beings around you, you know, the problem is you don't know what garbage you got going on, and these little negative entities, what we call elementals, they get into your chakras, and that's how you get, people on, doing negative things, right? The soul is purely positive, right? It being a pure light, pure, love, positivity. You didn't come down here to be negative or, right? So soul's not negative. So we know anything negative is not us. Let's just deduce this to logic. Soul's not negative. It's inherently positive. Anything negative is outside of the soul. So if I'm doing things like drinking, anything destroying the physical body that I'm not trying to, now that's the difference between me saying, hey, I feel like smoking a cigarette right now. And you consciously like, no, I know my motherfucking lungs is suffering. That's different than, man, you ain't say shit to nobody, but you over here, hey, Bob, you good? Yeah, I'm good, man. Shit. You been thinking about that cigarette all day, and then you over here, you're not trying to smoke it, and then you, damn it. You ain't said nothing to nobody, but you really wasn't trying to smoke that cigarette. Where did that come from? You know what I'm saying? That wasn't you. That's something trying to say, hey, pick that cigarette up, smoke that cigarette. That'd be real good right now. Where is that coming from? That's where you get negative entities. They have their own MO going on. We don't really even like to call them negative entities. We call them elementals. They're not negative or positive, right? That's just would be like me coming on here and saying, oh, my soul sister, she's negative. You know what I'm saying? When she just might have been having a bad day, you know what I'm saying? Somebody pissed her off or might have, you know what I'm saying, been talking mess, and she had to knock somebody out.
That part.
And they like, oh, soul sister is just a negative being. You know what I'm saying? You like, hey, it ain't that black and white. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't have been trying her. You know what I mean? So they
Bro,
just
it's
have
like you know
tendencies.
my whole story just by saying that little bit. You don't even know. That's so funny that you say that particularly as an example. I went through that because, as you said, that energy you can have it up, and then people want to come against you because they don't really get your energy. Is what I think it is, and it's like since they can't connect with it or they don't tap into your energy, they have issues and stuff. So I kind of went through that. I'm fairly new to YouTube. I always say that, but I'm really not that new now. It's been almost 3 years, but coming into the community and being versatile with like different conversations and things like that. I would have a lot of weird, people coming at me like very aggressively, and I was very kind and nice. So I'm like, maybe they just think because I'm so nice, they can just do that. So when I start doing it, boy, I got a whole reputation. Sister, so mean, this, and that. No, she just will not continue to play with y'all. It's just crazy to say that.
Just firm. So yeah, these elementals, they not really negative or positive. They just got certain tendencies that they do. You know what I'm saying? You got ones that really like, that really get they food source and what they get energy from is, addiction. You know what I mean? So these thought forms will lodge into the certain chakras that are in charge of those emotions or whatever, and they'll a little thought form come in your ajna chakra. Oh, girl, you depressed, you sad, you anxious. You know what I'm saying? It'd be really good to cry right now. Oh no, why am I so sad? Damn, I need to, how, or you got one, solar plexus, anger. You know what I mean? The soul isn't anger. The soul's an angry person. You know what I'm saying? So when that thought form come in of, man, I really want to punch this dude in his face, that's not you right now, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? That's that little, you know, elemental trying to influence you.
Rising up
And them thought forms, you know what I mean?
in defiance.
Yeah, rising up. It's trying to seize an opportunity to where they just there, they just hang around. They came with planet Earth. Elementals are, elements, right? The elements are on Earth: air, fire, water. Elementals, you know what I mean? They hang around. They're inhabitants of the planet. So it's just little energetic beings that attach to us or whatever. But like I said, they're not positive or negative. They're just here, and they were put on the planet. Kind of, it's a part of it. Gets kind of deep or whatever, and the angelic realm, is in charge of the form on the planet. So they kind of have elementals on the planet to further rapidly give us the chance for rapid evolution of the soul. So they pretty much are here to, they either gonna test us, and make us either, downward spiral or project us and propel us forward. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yeah, we only like to focus on the negative. You got that elemental saying, hey man, you should go buy that bottle. You like, damn, I don't want to drink today, but I just seen this commercial, and you looking at that Bud Light commercial, you're like, damn, a beer right now would be good, but you trying to stop drinking, and all of a sudden you like, damn, yeah, I am getting a little thirsty right now. You're like, yeah, nah, I don't need to, go 2 more days not drink. I've been good. I ain't, drank since whoop de whoop. I think I'm good for it. That's not you. That's him trying to take that opportunity. Like, yeah, I think I got okay. Let me feed him, these thought forms. These are elementals. They have their own, they're a whole being, you know what I'm saying? So they can send thought forms to you and try and take that, so that's all it is. But you have good ones, quote unquote good ones as well. You know what I mean? So you got that thought form, hey man, you should, go buy another spiritual book today, and hey, we should, go meditate. And yeah, there's good ones too. You know what I mean? But they're just here. They're gonna influence us. Whatever we cling to and whatever tendencies we have, they're just gonna try and take advantage because they're just little entities and they get energy from those certain areas or whatever. So you got the ones that get energy from us being negative, because when we do that negative stuff, we punch that dude in his face, boom, solar plexus get to generating all that negative anger energy, and all that anger energy is a certain type of flavor for a certain type of being, you know what I'm saying? So if he can say, hey, go punch him in his face, yeah, you should punch him, why are you looking at you like that? And you go punch him, he's like, yes, I won, I got it, yes. He just gave me a whole bunch of food to eat today. You know what I'm saying? Buffet. You got a whole bunch of little anger energy, all this red, dirty red, brownish, grayish energy floating around your solar plexus. And they just like, yeah, keep it coming. Go knock out another dude. Yeah, some more negative energy. And now all of a sudden, that's your personality. And all of a sudden, these dudes are deeply embedded and lodged into your solar plexus or whatever. And they just hanging out, eating chips, sending you negative thought forms all day. And they just like, man, he's just an angry dude. You know what I'm saying? No, he's not. He has a soul. Everybody has a soul. He's the soul. That's who he is. He ain't no angry dude. He's just convinced by the physical body because he won't leave these tendencies alone and meditate. So that's all it is. So, yeah, so these critters, they get in our chakras and whatever. Those are the little ones. Now, what they look like, clairvoyant, if you have a clairvoyant look, at the chakras or whatever, that little protective web I was talking about that's in each one of your chakras or whatever that keeps all the dirty stuff and all the trash out and all the bad guys out. That little protective web is about 2.54 centimeters big. 2.54 centimeters big. The little entities, the little negative entities, those little critters, they look like bugs. They look like little insects. They look like little energetic spiders. Little insects, whatever. They look like there's little bugs. They get in our chakras, whatever. And then when you got a whole bunch of them, they just bombarding you. That's when you have people saying, I had a bad trip, and you turn your shoulder and you seen a big ass demon, or quote unquote, or some negative entity that scared the shit out you. That's where you get that. Those little critters contact the big guys. You know what I'm saying? You get all those little critters, and then all of a sudden, you got whole beings around you, like, okay, we heard you. You be mad all the time, whatever. Now you got actual beings, that looks spooky coming up like, hey, I heard you got a whole bunch of food over here. What's going on? And now, you look around and you see those big guys or whatever, and versus that clairvoyant who, reached that point through meditation, all that stuff.
Brother,
They can
that
experience.
reminds me of a cartoon. Like back in the days, they used to have the cartoon, like it'll have the devil looking thing, the red, and then the angel on the one side, and it's like, go on, do it. Then the other one on the other side, no, you don't want to do that. Hey, just when you said that, it just gave the whole picture of how they used to show that. Like how you have these two things that you're actually battling all the time. It's up to you to make that decision, that choice, which way you're going to go, which balance do you want to gravitate to. But yeah, that's a perfect picture. Those cartoons really remind you of that.
That's not even a good representation. What you said, that's actually when they started doing that, those are actual like representations of like, elementals and aka, little yeah, that was really mainly for as a representation of elementals, you know what I'm saying? Because you got good ones and you got bad ones. And they all trying to influence you. Which one you gonna listen to? That's exactly who they are. Those are elementals. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. So Yes, they're already on the planet. They just here to influence us. Now, like I said, an example of good ones, right? A healer named Master Hector. He was meditating, and during his meditation, right, he became aware of his physical body. He kind of moved outside of his body and was looking at it, was able to see. And during the meditation, he had saw a bunch of what it looked like little tiny little light beings, and they had little wings or whatever, and they looked like they was all around his body. It looked like they were working on something. And then he said he saw those little guys, floating all around his body, little light beings. And then he said above his left shoulder, whatever, above his shoulder, he looked and he saw a big being. And he asked Grandmaster Choco Sui, hey, what was going on? What did I see during meditation? He told him pretty much it's like this. Those little beings on you, like I said, angels are in charge of the physical form, of the physical universe, right? They create physical form. So when you're meditating, these beings are showing up, when you're doing, advanced meditation or, any type of, deep or advanced meditations or whatever. These guys show up. He said what's going on is they are working on your chakras. They was refining and tuning up certain energy channels on his body and on his chakras and whatever. Certain meridians and chakras that little angels were pretty much tuning up so that when he was meditating, everything, happened safely and correctly or whatever. This is like all the little stuff that goes on behind us just sitting down and think we're pulling down, picturing white light and, I feel so good and I'm floating and I'm so vibed out. Little things like a bunch of little angels going like this with little, what I'm saying, hammer and nail or whatever, socket wrench or your body look like a little stop shop, you got little tiny angelic beings working on you, whatever, and then all of a sudden we just come out of meditation like, oh, I just feel really light today. What was that white light? Or I just feel so good. Or, da, da, da. My back don't hurt no more. Or why did this pain go away? Yeah, there's a whole lot of beings out here helping you out. You know what I'm saying? That's why. And he says, so those guys are working on your physical or your energy body. Working on certain meridians and channels, clearing out blockages and all that stuff, so your meditation can be more effective. And sufficient. And then he said, the big guy behind them, it was big light being actually, big being, big angel, whatever. He said that big angel is pretty much just their boss. So yeah, that's why we know in pranic healing, I had pictures and everything, but I was scared to put them back up because yeah, pranic healers, whatever, you doing a healing session, meditation or whatever, and you can see it, you have clairvoyant look or whatever, you're gonna see angels around you, versus that schizophrenic who's actually seeing beings like, oh, I see demons and all that stuff. Yeah, because that person's most likely, they ain't living right. Their energy is all bombarded with all these entities. Those little entities attract those bigger entities, coming looking for food. And it's like this, hey.
Brother, since you said that, I got to ask you a question about this. What do you think about photoretinopathy? That when you're doing so much of sun gazing, and then it starts to remove what I call that veil over your eyes. They always talk about, some people are born with the veil, so on and so forth. I've talked about this and the importance of this because now when that happens, what you're saying is actually what's promoted. Telekinesis type of things, being able to see certain colors and different orbs. They say that it's a faulty thing, because hey, you're ruining your eyesight. But to me, sun gazing is a part of something that, it's just a part of what I believe in. And with the photoretinopathy, it seems to enhance you spiritually, but maybe physically it's a harmful mechanism. Can you get into that, brother, if you don't mind?
How you find me?
I listen.
That,
I
that,
tell, look, bro. I tell you, the ancestors be like, boom, boom, boom. And I don't even know what be happening. It just puts it. It aligns it all. I'm telling you. You think I'm playing? It just happened.
yeah, man, it's divine timing, synchronicity, whatever you want to call it, man. So yeah, it's back to college. Sun gazing. I would say meditation is meditation. Sun gazing is like meditation times 10, if not times 100. I was sun gazing in college. Let me report back to you. I ain't gonna tell you nothing. I'm gonna just tell you what I experienced. It's like this. I was practicing sun gazing for a little while. How it works is you go out there, you look at the sun, try and catch it like, before 10 or like after 5, 6.
Yes.
Say what?
I'm just like, yes, brother. Say it. Yes.
So you start off, you try and catch it, before 10 o'clock and like after 6. That's when the sun, is still out shining bright, but it's not too intense. You will notice that you can actually get harmed from energy. You know what I'm saying? You can't have too much of good energy. It can be harmful. So solar prana is very potent. Actually, in pranic healing in the book, you'll read that you kind of gotta, be mindful when of the solar prana is very potent. So before 10 o'clock, and like after 5, 6 or whatever, it should be straight on the eyes to where it won't, make it feel like you about to go blind and your eyes is crossing, about to pop out or whatever. I would just say really watch it. Don't really go out there during noon. You know what I mean? I kind of did that one time, noontime, and that's when it hurts the most.
Yes, brother. That is so important. I'm so glad when I tell you, you just clarifying. I say this all the time, brother, and I always specify to them, try to get out there like during the sunrise. You really see the true golden sun and the essence of that perfect energy that it gives off. And as you say, when it gets higher, like 10, 11 or so, and it gets up there, it literally switches, brother. I've seen the blue beam light literally putting a light, a false light over our light. Like literally. I mean, I don't want to get into that, but I just want to say that. So it's very important to get it early and in the evening.
Starts to get freaky when you really look at the sun. And you're like,
Okay.
oh, this ain't the only one either. It look like more. It look like no. Yeah, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. So
Yeah. We'll say that for another time.
yeah, two sons. But yeah, so start off, you start it in intervals of like 10 seconds. You look at it for 10 seconds. Then boom, second day, you add 10 seconds. You add 10 seconds each day. So second day be 20 seconds. Third day, you're looking at it for a total of 30 seconds. Fourth day, 40 seconds, and so on. So doing that. And then when you get up to 30 minutes, then you just go back down by 10 seconds. And then when if you finish that, and you went all the way down to 10 seconds and back to, from 30 minutes back down to just 10 seconds, and you just start it back over, and work your way up, whatever. But so I had been doing it a little while. I was looking at the sun, and it came out one day, after practicing for a while. I was in the park, right? How it works is you look at it, for your amount of time. When you come out of, after you finish looking, you go into darkness. Now, I used to have a little mind fold, a little, eye covering. I'll put that on. But if you don't have one, after you finish looking, just go into complete darkness and just cover your eyes, And y'all know how it works is you look at something that gets burnt into your mind's eye, whatever gets burnt into your eyes. So when you cover your eyes, you'll see that little sun, in your mind's eye. So you'll see that sun floating around. You're like, oh, okay, I see it. So advanced teachings, if you can get to that, you'll see that. What you want to do is you'll see that little sun and you'll look at it. You're like, okay, what you want to do is try to look at it with the center of your forehead. Just kind of let your eyes they don't really pay too much. Try and look like as if you're looking at it with the center of your forehead and try and control it with the center of your forehead. Because what you'll notice is you'll try and look at it, but when your eyes close, you'll probably be looking at it with like your physical eyes, and then it'll start moving around. It's going to start moving around. Try and keep bringing it back to center and bringing it back to the center of your forehead. What helps is kind of sitting up straight. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look, you'll try and then you, where'd it go? Now try and sit up straight and just move it with your mind. Don't try and use your physical body, your physical eyes or whatever. It's going to start moving around. Try and keep bringing the sun back to center. And then eventually it's probably going to stabilize. After a while, after you get good at it, it probably will stop floating around. You'll probably stop having to chase it. That big old sun. It's gonna be different colors like yellow, orange. It's gonna be all colors, bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Focus on it and focus on that. You know, it might be a small point or whatever. You're gonna have some type of little burnt in sun though. Try and pull it towards you and make that little sun bigger and bigger and bring it towards you until it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and try and go into it and try and go into the sun. Now, what that is that's actually your soul. That's actually a focal point of, you know, that's your mind's eye, and it's actually what that sun is in your mind's eye. You know, you just created a portal. Now, to leave your body, you just bring that to you, and you'll kind of, you know, try and go through that. That's just practice on, you know, that's just astral projection practice or whatever, you know, same, you know, astral projection practice, whatever. But there's the same kind of technique we do, and try and go into that, you know, sun or whatever, and then take things from there. Just keep trying to do that, and then, you know, you'll start to see crazy things start to happen or whatever, and then you'll be out of there. But so after I had did that, I came out of, you know, took my hands off my eyes or whatever after my little sun gazing session, and then all of a sudden I was looking around. I'm like, whoa, am I seeing energy right now? Oh, okay, this is cool. So what it looked like a bunch of like rainbows around everything. You know what I'm saying? Not just like humans and, you know, the tree. It was just like rainbows around everything. It kind of looked like when you look when you look at the edge of a car on a hot day and you see those little, you know, heat waves or whatever. It just looked like those heat waves around everything, but in color. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is crazy. I think I'm seeing energy right now. Whoa, okay. So,
Right.
so yeah, like I said, meditation, all these things naturally reawaken, you know, the supernatural abilities we got laying dormant. Sun gazing, powerful at doing that, you know. So like I said, the sun gazing, I was seeing energy after I, you know, was doing it after a while. And like you said, the photo retina, the eyes, what I mainly noticed, what I really appreciated was my eyes was doing a whole lot better. My eyes felt good. I felt like I could see a lot farther. I felt like right after, you know, sun gazing session, everything is more vibrant. But just in general, I was like, oh my God, I felt like I had a filter and I turned up the saturation. I was like, man, everything is more potent, more vibrant. It looked like, you know, life is like popping out like the 90s again, all colorful and stuff. I'm like, oh damn, I was living all dull and shit. I can just got more, you know, intense, colorful. So AKA, it really helped out the health of the eyes, you know what I'm saying? Because your physical eyes are staring at the sun, you know what I mean? And that's another reason why you have to do the little protocol, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, you know. Try to do it, you know, before 12 o'clock and like after 6 or whatever, or after 5 or whatever. So, you know, because all you need is like the image or whatever, and then, you know, but, you know, during the intense times of the day, that solar prana hitting you, you know, but, yeah, that's powerful. Uh,
And the
what else?
breathing, real quick, just to tap back into what you said about the breathing, brother. We've talked about that as well. When you think about it, there are a lot of people that do the prana breathing or the prana life. They literally live breatharians. I'm sure you're familiar with that. And we've shown how this one gentleman, I can't remember his name unfortunately, but he actually literally lives off of the air. A breatharian. There are a few cases I've heard about. Sometimes they haven't turned out so healthy, but maybe it just was what they were doing at the time. But what do you think about that? Being a breatharian.
Yeah, you're a good host, man. You got some powers, man. You in my head. You over here redirecting me because that's what I meant to tell you. That's what I left out. Yes. Uh, when I was sun gazing, I was not hungry. I was not eating much. I was like, I'm literally, I see why, okay, it was sun worship and we was, you know, I understand all of that. I'm like, oh my God, all we need is this sun and kind of, I will go out there, I'll be sun gazing. I'm like, man, I'm kind of full. Like, you'll be so vibrant and so much energy. Yeah. So I really wasn't eating much. And yeah, that still is kind of one of my goals. That's kind of funny, man. That's kind of crazy, man. It's spiritual day, but that's every day for me. Yeah, I literally had pulled some cards earlier because I was like, man, You know, damn, I'm telling you all these secrets, but yeah, I'm like, man, I literally pulled some tarot cards on Breatharian. And I'm like, do I need to do that right now? Because I think I need to turn up the heat. You know what I'm saying? Because it coming soon. I need a extra influx of energy or whatever. I got a bunch of big tasks at hand, so I'm gonna need more, energy during the day and all this stuff. So I'm like, yeah, one of the ways I had whole lot of energy. I could go all day, didn't really need sleep, nothing like that. Was up all night, not really eating. Was that sun gazing had got me there. But yes, the breatharianism. So yeah, I had gotten the fasting and all that. I fasted before, and that's one way to quickly, awaken the supernatural abilities of the body as well, and quickly heal the body is through fasting. And yeah, that breatharianism. Yep. All you
Yes.
needed was energy.
Yes, the fat and the fasting, and I think that's a good thing anyway. With all this stuff going on with the food, brother, like, I mean, come on, it's like we don't even want to be ingesting half of this crap. Of at least 90% of it, we know it's not going to be that good for us anyway when it comes to our cells and our cellular structure, and even with that, being able to enlighten yourself or create those densities. A lot of these foods and chemicals create that weight and that heaviness and that bearing down on a person's physical body, and it bears down on what, your spirit and your soul as well, causing all those breakages and in the energy and the fluctuation, the flow of energy to the brain. Can you talk a little bit about that?
With the food and dealing with like effect on the energy and all that stuff and our
Yes,
bodies.
please, yes, if you can, if you don't mind.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't want to throw you off. I'm just trying to keep you on point, because, brother, I know you got some good knowledge, and I definitely appreciate you sharing. So, please.
Yes. Yes. The yes. Lately, I'm like, dang, I'm kind of feeling the same, man. It ain't really. So what happens is when you doing a bunch of, you know, meditation and spiritual practice, on you doing a bunch of energy work, energy is very subtle. Spiritual, pulling down uh divine spiritual energy during meditation, during twin hearts or whatever. The energy that's coming down is really high frequency. So energy is, it's not all the same, right? So the energy generated during meditation from twin hearts is really high frequency. It's divine spiritual energy from God, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, the solar prana, the ground prana, the air prana, that's all a little more heavier. That's all a little more thicker. Ground prana, I think, is actually the heaviest. You know what I'm saying? It looks like little globules of white light or whatever, but it's thicker. Air prana is more subtle. Solar prana is subtle, but so it's not all the same, right? Divine spiritual energy, so all that energy you're pulling down during meditation is very high frequency, very subtle. What does that mean? The more lower frequency energy, aka the more negative energy you got in you, the more of a, you know, the high frequency energy comes down and has to push all that out. Now that's where you get instances of, if you ever seen me, meditating, or anybody they meditating, you see them go like that or something. That's because when the energy's coming down, it hits a blockage. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? That just means I'm getting exposed right now. You know what I'm saying? I got a blockage somewhere. I ain't. You know what I mean? Or uh, it all works itself out. You know what I mean? Eventually, if you jerking during meditation, all that stuff, it'll eventually stop. It just, energy, just got a little blockages. Now, the problem with that is that over time, that high frequency energy, your energy body, when you start off, is more heavier and thicker, and all the energy in your aura is like rocks. So it's like your energy body is full of rocks. You know what I'm saying? You can only put so many. Rocks is bigger. Fill up your whole aura with rocks. Is a bunch of big old rocks, right? That's low frequency, heavy energy. Those big energy globules, they're bigger. High frequency energy generated during meditation is like sand, small granules of sand. So if you could picture you having all this heavy, dirty energy, it's like you got a bunch of rocks in your aura, and then you pulling down high frequency energy, that's sand. So all those rocks in there make less room for the sand. You know what I mean? So you'll pull down energy or whatever, and then that sand starts hitting those rocks, and that's where you get the jerking, whatever. But all that, all those rocks got to be cleared out, you know, and broken down or whatever. So what happens is all that high frequency energy, all that sand is slowly down, you know, slowly well, all those rocks or whatever during meditation, they're getting broken down and they're turning into sand. You know what I'm saying? They're turned down into smaller, you know, those rocks are turning, you know, from big rocks to smaller rocks to smaller rocks to pebbles, you know, to pebbles to pebbles to sand. Now, during that transition, what's happening is the energy coming down when it's, you know, hitting those, you know, that subtle high frequency energy when it's hitting those rocks at is where uncomfortability and all that stuff comes in. So you'll notice over time, you know what I mean? Like the point I'm at now is like I'm doing such intense meditation that like I'm like, damn, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm like, it just must be a sign. I'm like at a point now to where like me and my girl kind of think about taking a break from solid food in general. I'm like, I can't even. I'm like, it don't matter how healthy it is. I'm like, I was just eating some fries. I was eating some, you know, even fruits and veggies.
Right.
Even fruits and veggies. My stomach is like, hey, bro, what you trying to do to me? What are you doing to me, fam? Get that up out of here. I'm like, bruh, this is a this is a strawberry, dog. Like you used to like this. It's like, no, stomach ache. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm over here. So right now, I'm like, I can only really like drink smoothies, and you know, and the really thing that really mess me up is, you know, uh, is eggs. Now, I mentioned that because that's probably, you know, a little, you know, probably uh unorthodox, you know, understanding. The eggs, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Sabi, I know probably wouldn't recommend it, but pranic healing book, I don't know, it's weird enough, everything is energy, right? So I get, you know, what I've come to learn is I'm like, okay, that's why these boxers used to slam a bunch of raw eggs before they go, you know, train and all this stuff. You go crack the book open, it'll tell you one of the quickest and fastest ways to, if the body is depleted of energy and is extremely weak, one of the fastest ways to rejuvenate, you know, the human body is eating 2 raw eggs. You know, I'm like, oh damn, that's where boxers got it from. Yeah, I had my, you know, I done been all around the world with diet and all this stuff, you know, and I've come to hear certain people that have been deep into, you know, diet journey and all this, you know, health consciousness, whoop-de-whoop, vegan, vegetable, all the type of, and they're like, yeah, man, yeah, eggs. So, you know, I know that falls in, you know, like dairy, whatever, but just hear me out. I'm just saying, if somebody out there, you know, I know it's a lot of, but if you're not, you know, it just is what it is. I just say that because that's just one of the things that don't really mess me up either, you know what I mean? Because a lot of stuff is that I'm eating is just cleaning me out. You know, a lot of fruits and vegetables is healthy. It's kind of, you know, it's medicine. That's cleansing, you know what I mean? At the same time, you need your body to be cleansed out, but you also need energy as well, you know what I mean? And I want to mix it up.
Yeah, use certain herbs and things. A lot of herb green gives you a lot of energy, things of that nature. Yes, smoothies.
Yeah, so that's really the only thing I can do right now is I'm just drinking smoothies, you know, fruit smoothies or whatever, and every now and then, you know, I can eat maybe, you know, some tacos, but my energy body is just getting super refined or whatever. So it's just like every single thing, you know what I'm saying? It's just dropping in there. It's just like boom. I had like a, you know, on and off stomach ache, I feel like for like the last year or 2 years or whatever, because it's like what it is, that's not the case, but my stomach is just getting more sensitive and sensitive to every little thing that's not natural, not, you know,
Yes, I was
healthy
about
for
to
the human
say
body. It's like,
that.
oh, okay, in high
Yeah, you
school, I
going
don't
through
know how it
that.
was for y'all, but I'm like, man, the thing is, regular everyday people can slam a bunch of, you know, McDonald's, Big Macs every
Yeah.
day and just be fine, not feel bad.
Because
That's
they're
the
on that
problem.
low frequency, remember? So, like you said, the energy, right? Even
Yes,
you, like
their
you were
energy
saying,
body is
like you
full of
had,
rocks.
Yeah.
So when they put more rocks, aka more lower frequency energy, aka knickknacks and stuff, those rocks just blend right in. That's what the body is used to working off of. Now, when you got a whole bunch of sand, a whole bunch of light energy in you, when you got that sand in there, and you get a rock in there, you're gonna notice. You really gonna notice. AKA, you give a V for somebody, a spiritual person or a medicine person, they eat a Big Mac and they hunch over. You know, that's extremely important because if you eat unhealthy and you feel fine, that's a problem. That's because the human body is extremely smart. It's extremely advanced and intelligent to where you done been fucking up so long, it'll literally turn those senses off and say, hey, okay, you know, this is what he's doing. At least turn the nerves off so we don't have to feel the pain. And your body will do that. You know what I'm saying? So it'll stop sending them distress signals when, when you first got introduced, it was like, oh, okay, you ate that burger the first time. Oh, stomach ache. Okay. All right. Boom. Your body can adapt. You can adapt. You know what I'm saying? The body is very smart. It will adapt. Unfortunately, it can adapt to negative things. You know what I'm saying? So if you're doing a bunch of negative, bad stuff, you know what I mean? And you're not feeling bad or getting, that's a problem, so that's good that if you eating, anything or you getting stomach aches or headaches or whatever, that's just your body's response system working well like it's supposed to, saying, hey, what you putting in here, check that shit, make his back hurt, don't be putting that in my stomach no more, you know what I mean? So it just gets more and more sensitive to everything that's not of high frequency. So the more stuff that's lower frequency you put in your aura, and you work with all this high frequency energy all day, every little, a Big Mac or, even a negative conversation, you'll be like, what? This shit is extremely uncomfortable. Oh my God. Like, is this an argument right now? I don't even do this. The contrast between low frequency and high energy frequency will be so, big where it'd be extremely noticeable. You'd be like, oh my God, like, I feel really weird. That person just tried to talk mess about me because, you know what I'm saying, you not, you're not on those frequencies anymore, aka, that burger, that heavy burger, whatever, it give you a stomach ache because the frequency difference is so much. So yeah, so on diet or whatever, right? Pranic healing, we said the best thing you can put into your body, what will give you the most energy. If you had a clairvoyant look, someone could see energy. Ginger. No. Ginseng. Ginseng is extremely powerful. I still can't find,
Oh
good
yes, I
sources.
love ginseng. Yes, yes.
Ginseng is extremely powerful. Then ginseng is the number one thing ginseng also as well. They need to do studies on this. This is probably not really out there to the public and not really too trendy. Violet grapes. Violet grapes. Because whatever it is, whatever color something is in general, most likely,
Yes.
especially natural and organic, as far like a fruit or a vegetable, whatever color it is, and most likely 9 times out of 10 emits that energy. Now, a watermelon, what energy would that emit? You could look at a tomato, okay, that emits red energy, correct. Watermelon. Oh, we know on the outside that's red, but on the inside or on the outside it's green, but on the inside it's red. I believe watermelon. I think it might be. I gotta double check, but I forgot which one
It's
it
very
was.
good for the blood as well. Yes.
Yeah. So yes, thank you for that. Boom, we're working together on this. So it's red then, because it's very good for the blood. Red energy is good for the blood. Red energy is in your basic chakra, controls your physical movement. Your basic chakra energizes the blood. So that's why we know you got blood problems. The basic chakra, you send that red energy to the basic chakra, which the basic chakra is all red. All that red energy. You know what I'm saying? Energizing the body, sending all that. Cleanse the blood to the body, whatever. So yes. Even though watermelon is green, you would, green energy. Well, no, it emits red. So all that to say is whatever color that fruit is, it probably emits that same color energy. So uh, violet grapes emit violet light. Violet light is extremely powerful. That's the master healing color we use in pranic healing. If you're trying to heal somebody rapidly and quickly, you would use violet most of the time. So violet grapes emit violet energy, and they are really healing. They need to do studies on violet grapes healing cancer. Grandmaster Chalk Sui kind of recommends that they need to look further into that, I would say. Yes, very healing. What other foods are good? As far as pranic healing, what we can't eat is mainly we're not advised to eat pork or eel. Pork, eel, and catfish. Those are the most etherically dirty things you can put into your body. As well. You probably know about the pork; it's pretty dirty. And then the books, Grandmaster Choco Sweet passed in 2007. So if he could update it, I'm pretty sure he would probably put tilapia in there too, because tilapia is just, I think tilapia at this point is worse than pork. They be feeding those fish like freaking cat food and corn on what they be feeling tray. I don't know, but yeah, tilapia is pretty bad. But uh, catfish, eel, pork. So if you had a clairvoyant look, when you eat catfish, eel, and pork, it it's really sticky, brownish grayish energy, and it really is really sticky in the aura. It's kind of hard to get out. You know what I'm saying? So if you could just avoid that, a great master here, Master Ko, Grandmaster Choco Sui's closest disciple, on the planet right now, running the Pranic Healing show. Best healer out there, you know what I'm saying? When he was coming up, he was coming to main Mike, the one that, helped Grandmaster Choco Sui conduct the experiments. He was coming to him. He's like, hey, main Mike, all right, boom, I done been doing all intense meditation, you know what I'm saying? Check my aura out, you know what I'm saying? Take a look. How am I doing? How big is my aura, you know what I'm saying? And main Mike was looking, he was like, huh, not that big. He was like, what? My aura isn't, he's like, it's grown a bit, but it's not as big as you thought. He was like, oh, is it this size or whatever? He's like, no, it's not that size, but this is bigger. He was like, what? So what he figured out was at the time, he was still eating pork, you know, and, they're in the Philippines, Filipino, Mexico's Filipino, whatever. And they eat a lot of pork over there. So at that time, he ain't gave it up yet. So it was, dirtying up his aura to where it's like all his meditations was just mainly, you eat the pork and all that stuff where you carrying around that pork energy and stuff like that. So before your energy body can grow and get bigger and healthier and stronger and all that stuff, you got to kick out all the crud first, and then stuff can grow and expand. So he was just doing pretty much damage control. So it wasn't as big. His energy didn't grow as big as he thought it did at that point in time. He's like, okay, I've been meditating for this long. At this point, my aura should be this big. Let me go have Ming Mike check. And Ming Mike's like, nah, it ain't this big as where it should be. He's like, oh, why? He figured out it's because he was still eating pork. So it just dirties up the energy body. But I don't like to harp too much on the diet or whatever, because as far as pranic healing goes, anybody can do it, no matter what the diet. But, obviously we all know that, meat is heavy energetically. It's not the best thing to put in your body, just as far as meats go. Chicken and fish is pretty light. That cleanses out of the energy body, uh, pretty quickly. Red meats is obviously heavier. That takes hours to days to get up out the aura. Chicken and fish takes, about, hour to hours to get up out the aura. Yeah, that red meat and pork. Pork it's a different animal. Pork energy is sticky, so it's hard to, it make you feel uncomfortable faster and you start, but red meat is heavier, it still takes a little longer to get out the ore, but yeah, so people, that healers, spiritual practitioners, whatever, you'll see some that have pretty big auras. Their aura's pretty big, and they, still eat a little bit of meat, chicken and fish or whatever. But that's because it's a whole myriad thing. We just don't like to, practice extremism. You know what I'm saying? Because Grandmaster Choco Sui, it's like this. It's a whole energetic thing behind it. When I was on my journey, I kind of experienced the same thing as well. I'm like, man, unfortunately, it's a whole thing. Uh, it's a whole ethical thing behind, the diet, whatever. So I was coming along and I'm like, oh, okay, energetically, it's a karma thing, right? We're not one of the main reasons we don't, eat meat is, for the karma, right? So, and just because it's, not physically healthy, right? Body fluid.
The Impossible Burgers. What do you think about that plant-based, fake-based, soy-based? I don't know what that stuff is, but I don't think it's healthy at all.
Yeah. See, the thing is, it's like, right, exactly what it is it's just not meat. It's like it's just not meat. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these people out here eating burgers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If they really took that burger to a lab, you know what I'm saying, you probably will stop making fun of vegans because you probably not even eating meat either. You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole another story. But Impossible Burgers and that Beyond stuff, I was on it. I used to go to Burger King get the Impossible Whoppers, but I'm like, yeah, that stuff come to find out it's just not meat. You know what I'm saying? I think they was putting stuff in there. I think they was like congealed what like I forgot what exactly I saw, but
Yeah, it was some weird stuff, brother. Though, yeah, like it was like, wait a minute, that's not even. I don't think
like
healthy.
parabens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, so that's what I deduced. I'm like, oh, okay, it's not, because we like, oh, okay, it's not, it's not meat. But that's exactly, it's just not meat. It ain't nothing more, nothing less. It's just not a burger. It's not a whatever. It's not no nutrition in there though.
What about the how can I say this? Let's say the Popeyes craze with the chicken sandwiches that people were going crazy over, fighting, wanting to kill each other over, and now just last month, the USDA has passed approval for the clone meat. Now, first off, they've been doing the clone meat for damn near 10 years already behind people's back. They didn't even know about it. So now they're gonna federally approve it. So, oh wow, you've been giving it out to these people for 10 years. Now you federally approve it, and I feel like that Popeyes thing, I hope this isn't too far off topic, the Popeyes thing was a test run. Well, let's see how they act and, if they really love this chicken. And then now we can approve it because it was approved from, I guess from them promoting it with this, just everything that went on. That was a craze, brother. I'm a mute. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that.
Man, that was just a sad day for me personally as a black person. I'm like, oh my God, man. I think those lines were longer than Jordan's. But yeah, man. So I don't know. Then all I would have to say is it's just exactly what it seems at the spiritual surface level. You know what I'm saying? Like it did look like it. It looked like a giant experiment, and y'all just falling right in that trap. I don't
We
know.
always run it. It's like we just be like, oh, okay, like any dang thing. We just like, oh, sure, let's go ahead and just like, come on. They knew since what is that Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh, I muted. Since Kentucky Fried Chicken, that's been forever, umpteen years. When I was a kid, you weren't even thought about. You were still in your mom's sack at the time. It was Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they had to change it to KFC because it was clone meat then. They were using clone meat then, so they had to change the name to KFC from Kentucky Fried Chicken because it was giving a false narrative that it was real chicken, and no one was even aware of like clone chicken, GMO chicken, all of that at the time. So like, what? What do you think of that, brother? That's just crazy, right?
I'll just tell you this: my college, TLU, in Upton Seguin, it was our town was famous because right across the street from our campus was the Tyson factory. And you'll see these dudes and then you'll see these Tyson trucks pull up, and you'll see it's just a big ass truck with a bunch of individual cages, and you'll see all them chickens that they take into there. And then first you'll see the trucks coming on the road, and then everybody know what time it is because you'll see all the feathers on the road. There'll be a bunch of little chicken feathers, a bunch of white feathers on the road. You're like, oh, they didn't, had that chicken export. The trucks then came. Right after they dropped them chickens off, the whole town smells. The whole town stink because it's slaughtering day. So they bring all them fresh chickens, they kill all of them, whole town stink. Seguin ain't that big, so yeah, I gotta be athletics. I was a football player, like I told you. We out there at practice, like, oh my god, you really get used to it. You know what I'm saying? It's really
That's
sad
horrible.
because you'll be out there and you'll only smell it the first 15 seconds you walk outside. You're like, oh my god, it smells like death in the air, and then strangely it goes away, and then you'll come back inside.
You're
And then
accustomed
your
to it. Your body gets adapted
smell
to
like,
it.
dead
Yeah.
fish. So whole
Yeah,
town.
that's crazy how like you just said, right? So think about like on a day-to-day basis, we were going out all these chemicals and things in the air. You're taking them in. People are breathing them in. You're tasting them. I've been aware many times of where I'm out somewhere, like I could taste something in the air, disgusting, make me want to vomit. I have a weak stomach, but it really has been that bad. Like this stuff literally is in the air. It's so crazy you said that. So now you being out there after time, your senses are gonna now adapt to it. So now it doesn't smell that horrible. But then when you go back in, where you're in fresh air, because it has been exposed to all of those scents, those fumes actually. Now they're on your clothing and inside of your pores in your skin, and then now you can smell it. It's just so disgusting, all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the whole thing. And so what I wanted to mention as well is so all these chickens, what I saw is, and that's when everybody was like, holy moly, like yeah. So all the college students, we wouldn't eat chicken because it was like I'm pretty sure like we couldn't prove it, but it was like an old little tale. They used to say, oh, don't eat the chicken. You know what I'm saying? They get it half price from Tyson. They just give us all the bad, grade B, grade C meat or whatever that they can't sell, and they give it to us half price type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, don't eat the chicken. It's Tyson chicken.
Wow,
Yeah.
you see, my sister said that Tyson shut down today. Speak of the devil, hey, you say speak of the devil. What type of energy?
Hmm. That's crazy. So yeah, speak of the devil, because they was doing some devil shit. This is what you will see when you'll see the feathers. If you see an actual truck, you'll see a bunch of chickens, and what they doing? They sitting down. A bunch of chickens sitting down, look like they're just enjoying the ride. Why is that? Because these motherfuckers can't walk. They never learned how to walk. They grew the chickens so fast, they was full size adults at like 3 weeks old. If not, I don't know. I think the technology now they can grow them chickens full size in like 2 weeks.
Like
Like a
giving
week
them
and a half.
yeah, pumping them with the steroids. You just eating steroids. That's how you
Yes.
eating steroids. And water. I seen them. They have those machines where they pump the chicken with water, a solution, a soluble to make it fat. Like crazy. You paying for water.
Yeah, you paying for water. You know what I'm saying? These chickens got the biggest breasts I've ever seen, and they can't stand up. How was that? You know what I'm saying? Crazy. So yeah, uh, yeah, Tyson. It's just bad vibes from them. Yeah, that chicken sandwich, man. All that to say is, I don't know, man. It gets a little deep. So with the energy, the energetic, thing going on with the meat and all that stuff is these little animals have souls, right? They have souls. When you killing something, an energy is released. You know what I'm saying? Chemicals was released or whatever. So energetically, you're eating whatever emotions that animal was going through at that state. Now, when people, and this is why people in third world countries and back in the day or whatever, they kind of knew what they was doing, Indians and all that, they would make it as spiritual as possible. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a sacrifice, which is the best way to go about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a whole energy thing too, right? You're eating this food or whatever is coming from a soul, this, but that soul had emotions and all that stuff too. So uh those Indians on that reservation, they kill that buffalo. They have a whole little ritual. They pray over him or whatever. Yeah, that buffalo just got murked. So his little soul is floating over that body of his, and he's going, "Oh man, what they just killed me?" And then he goes, "Oh, okay. Well, dang, they're doing a whole ritual for me. They're putting." they're thanking me so much for sacrificing my soul, and they're just like, hey, this was just a physical shell. It's just a circle of life. We just have no other way of getting nutrition right now. You're gonna feed and strengthen and bring health to a whole tribe of Indians, and this physical flesh isn't gonna be going to waste. That's a whole lot different than when they grow a motherfucker in 1.5 weeks and he can't walk, and then they bash him over the head with whatever, and he was fully conscious the whole thing. And so right before he dies, that physical flesh gets poisoned with those chemicals and that those emotions of whatever distress that animal's going through. So my dad, back in I think the Philippines, he used to have a guy, that used to sell rabbit meat. He had one arm, and he'll take the rabbits, put them on his bad arm, pet them, snap their neck real quick, because he knew the state of mind, the state they're in. You know what I'm saying? When they pass away is extremely important. Now, there's a whole energy thing tied behind that, but as far as physically, yes, when they die under distress, there's chemicals that are released into the body. You know what I'm saying? That meat is poison. So that dude that sold rabbit meat, he could not have them get scared. So once they get scared, if they know they're gonna die and they get scared, which is all the meat that we eat, they get scared, boom, that adrenaline and all that, whatever, all those chemicals get released into the meat, into the blood, into the, into their muscles, into the, all that, aka the meat essentially gets like poison with all those chemicals, you know what I'm saying, from that animal, sending that out. So you're eating all of that. Now, energetically, that's taking in, all this stuff, and then we wondering why we're a nation full of anxiety, depression, and all this stuff. It's because you killing some of they. What you think you're going through before you die? You probably extremely anxious, extremely depressed. You see every cow in front of you going through this door and don't come back. I think the animals knows it's about to go down.
Oh, brother, and to say on that, yeah, absolutely, and the energy, because as you said, so when they getting fearful, angry, this is where they get the adrenochrome that pumps up in the blood. Just like you, when you get anxious, you're scared, you get that flight, or what they say, what is it?
Fight or
Take
flight.
fight or flight. Yes, yes. So that's that adrenochrome, or we call it adrenaline. So they're getting that adrenochrome that pumps up that fear in the blood. It's an actual chemical. So now when you're eating this meat, the flesh has absorbed that. It's absorbed that chemical, the adrenochrome, all of that in the flesh of this meat. Then you're eating it. You're taking it on. You're actually, this red meat and that pork especially. These things are literally killing the amino acids in your brain. So now you're not getting the proper electrolysis. Your brain can't function off the light and the energy that it needs to function, because you're being brought down to a cellular level, because you're killing certain things you need to activate the things that are proper in your brain function. So it's like horrible when you think of it. Just the meat itself is like killing your spirit. It's killing your spirit, your mind, and your physical body, adding ailments to you, all those types of things.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of stuff. It's just so much technology and stuff that they doing to put it in now. So it's like, yeah, we just eating a bunch of science experiments, man. I was telling my girl the other day, I'm like, man, food lately is tasting more and more scientific. It tastes like a damn scientist made this than a chef. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm eating the periodic table now. I'm like, this shit it tastes so processed, and every time I can't even eat a bag of chips now. I'm like, this shit is not the same chips I was eating in the '90s or whatever. It's getting more and more processed because
Right, right.
things ain't staying the same. You know what I'm saying? You crack open these packages, you look at it like, what? Nah. My girl tried to eat a cherry pie from the store. The Miss Berries or whatever. These recipes are changing. You know what I'm saying? It's way different. So all that to say, and don't tell them what type of technology, where they at with the technology these days. But before I got off, I don't really focus too much on it, right now, whatever, I just know how to heal all the stuff once these problems arise. But so I don't focus too much on where the problems come from. But when I was still, studying heavily and, keeping up to date with what's going on with the world, they was at, you know, chemtrails and nanotechnology. So what the meat was, what I had come to notice and learn, what I gathered was they had put nanotechnology in the meat and all the processed foods. Now they spray these chemtrails, and then when the chemtrails land, it's just and they spraying the chemtrails. What are they spraying? They're just like what, like boron, like all these heavy metals. You know what I'm saying? Aluminum, heavy metals, whatever. They drop those down into the atmosphere, whatever.
Yes, yes.
And those are heavy metals, right? They put the nanotechnology in the food. The nanotechnology is pretty much, they act like little magnets. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of little nanobots, and they act like magnets. So what happens is they spray these chemtrails, they land down and fall on you, and they're heavy metals, right? Nanobots in the food, nanotechnology, right? So they act like little magnets. What do magnets do? They attract metals. So now people, is getting 10 times more messed up, with the chemtrails, because all the processed food and all the meats or whatever is, it could be embedded with nanotechnology and all that stuff to pulls the heavy metals to your bodies and gets that into your system fast or whatever. So nanotechnology is pretty much, making you soak up more of the chemtrails. Why are they doing that? What it is your cells get hit with those heavy metals. The heavy metals come onto your body or whatever, and metals, what do? They reflect things. They can heat up and they reflect things. So that's why if you're eating meats and all that stuff, that's why you walk outside, why is it so damn hot? Yeah, you eat a burger, you know what I'm saying? I got the meat sweats. Oh, it's extremely hot out here. What I come to notice when I was meditating and doing all this stuff, if it was 30 degrees outside and the sun was out, I was hot. It could be 30 degrees outside, below freezing. The sun's out. If it's hitting me, after 20 minutes, I'm soaking up the sun. I'm kind of hot. I'm like, damn, I'm supposed to be cold. AKA, my body adjusts to the temperature or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It acclimates, extremely fast or whatever. I notice when I'm eating heavy meats and all this stuff or whatever, I'm like, damn, it will feel a lot hotter outside. Why? Because I'm soaking up. I got all these heavy metals inside me, and then they spraying chemtrails. I got all these heavy metals. They spraying chemtrails, even more metals, and then nanotechnology, whatever, pulls even more heavy metals to your body. So, AKA, when metals are in your body, it's all over your skin and stuff, whatever. It turns your body, to a reflector pretty much. So when the sun's trying to beam down on you, now one, they got the heavy metals in your body. So now those little tiny metals are reflecting the sunlight. So now you can't absorb light. And they know that's the main mission. They trying to block out the sun with them damn chemtrails. And then mainly when they drop and get on your skin and into your system, those little microscopic metal particles, they get on top of your cells, and the light being that's supposed to be going into those cells, now they got a piece of aluminum on top of it, and aluminum, that sunlight hit that aluminum particle or whatever metal it is that's on the top of your cell, and it bounce off and reflects that sunlight. Now they like, yeah, we're trying to totally kill you mugs, because you live off of the sunlight. You know what I'm saying? That's one of your main sources of energy. You know what I'm saying? We step outside and get healed. They trying to cut that off. They like, okay, put some nanotechnology in the meats, make the nano like magnets. It'll even pull even more, heavy metals to their skin. Now they can't absorb sunlight. They reflect it, and then it pretty much essentially turns your body to a microwave. Now they got you frying from the inside out, because those heavy metals, they reflect that sunlight, and then they also heat up. So that's why, like I said, if you're eating meat and all that stuff, you'll feel hotter in the sun, and all that, whatever. Like, damn, this ain't the same sun as the 90s. No, it's not. It's because you got nanotech and heavy metals inside you that's doing something, else with, all the energy that's being reflected on you. They're kind of trying to slow cook you from the inside out. It's crazy.
It is, brother. Now, I know we've been going for a minute. We can definitely do a part two now. I'm open for it. I don't want to hold you too long. I really, really appreciate you joining. If you want to go a little longer, I'm fine. I do have a little more time, but I don't want to hold you too long. I appreciate your time, and definitely you sharing, your information, your story with us. Showing them, the information on the healing, so on and so forth. So if you want to go a little longer, we can definitely do that. And, we can definitely schedule something for another time to continue if you like as well. I definitely enjoyed you joining us, and definitely am appreciative of, all that you discussed this evening.
Yeah, definitely hit me up. I kind of got to go right now, but we definitely got to
Okay.
do a part two. Yeah, this was fun.
All right, perfect, perfect. Well, thank you so much again, everyone. This is the brother's information. If you want to talk with him, or possibly ask him to, get some information to you about what he teaches, learn some things from him, possibly, you can reach out to him there. There is his cash app. Everyone that appreciated the stream, you can definitely send him something. He didn't ask, but I'm dropping it because I appreciate him coming through as well. And yeah, we'll definitely do a part two and have the brother come back in and go over some of this information, and continue our conversation because I enjoyed it. It was awesome.
Perfect. Yeah. Definitely got to come back through. Just hit me up, and I appreciate anything y'all sharing in advance. Yeah, before I go, yeah, get that Pranic Healing book if you can. Pranic Healing is almost in almost every country, state, major city. You can take the courses. There's plenty of courses out there. You can just Google it, find the nearest course near you. The book is online. It's titled Miracles Through Pranic Healing Now. Hit me up. I can teach you for free. Twin Hearts Meditation is on my page. It has the one I use, guided by Grandmaster Chalkok Sui. Do that every day. You'll heal yourself and experience a bunch of miraculous things, and that'll just be the beginning of it. Shreem brzee. Shreem brzee is the money mantra that we probably didn't really get to yet. We'll probably pop
Right, I wanted to get into that, remember? But I know you got to go. But definitely, that'll be the first thing we tap into, brother. Definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. So Shreem brzee, it's a mantra. Go check my page out. It's on my TikTok. Y'all can see about that. It's just a mantra that is, in my opinion, the most fastest way to attract money through a sound vibration. You say 2 words, Shreem brzee, and money comes to you. It's mechanical. The more you do it, the more money comes. So yeah, my page is loaded with information and miracles and testimonials on that. What else? Yeah, I have a YouTube. You can, find the link for that, through she posted it, all my socials are B_soul13. So on YouTube, TikTok. And yeah, that's it for me. I had fun, man. Had a lot of fun.
Definitely, definitely, brother. I cannot wait till next time. Thank you so much once again for joining us, and we'll look forward to the next bill. You have a great evening, and until next time.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out, everyone. So what we'll do, I'm going to play a video going out, guys. A quick little something. Since we were talking about the animals and things of that nature, I want you guys to see how deep this stuff goes. Now, this is a little off topic, but I saw this and it was like, wow, this is crazy. For them to have this in the court, all it does is validate or verify the things that we know about and the things that we need to be aware of when it comes to this music that our kids are influenced with, the things that influence us when it comes to the music. Yeah, check this out.
Excuse me, but have y'all heard about Young Thug trying to get the evidence of a goat ritual sacrifice thrown out of court? Have y'all heard about this? If y'all heard about this and nobody told me or tagged me in it, we gonna have to fight with y'all. What the hell is going on? Watch this.
In the court to exclude evidence of a ritualistic sacrifice in his Reiko trial.
The theory behind killing animals is you're draining their energy, their power, and to use for mystical purposes.
According to newly filed court documents, defense attorneys for Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, have motioned to exclude evidence stemming from his co-defendant's arrest. According to the documents, during Shannon Stillwell's March 2022 arrest, officials found a, quote, religious ceremony which involved the supposed sacrifice of goats. Prosecutors say Stillwell, known as SB, and Young Thug were part of a gang referred to as Young Slime Life. Now, Young Thug's defense team says showing evidence of this alleged goat sacrifice has no, quote, benefit or probative value and could create prejudice in jurors. For more information about this,
there are known paganistic symbols and satanic symbols, and there are Yeah, there's a whole textbook on ritual crime that police know about and have used, but honestly, there was a whole satanic panic in the 80s.
Jason says he's unclear what specifically a goat sacrifice could represent.
The theory behind killing animals is you're draining their energy, their power, and to use for mystical purposes, or again as a sign of sacrifice to the divine. And it could very well be just a crazy.
Yeah. I just wanted y'all to see that. Make sure you're watching, what your kids are listening to. These weird people that come out with this music that be saying who knows what in it. All these different frequencies of energy that they put on the music. When they do these sacrifices, because when they create these, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of it. There's a particular master file, I believe it is. They have a master file, so this is how they create rituals and things so they can get famous and sacrificing their families and all this weird stuff. Be very careful of the alchemy, the music, television. All these things play a part in your energy being drained, harnessed, and taken advantage of, like literally, like for real. But yeah, the brother went in on a lot of information. It was an awesome build. It was very refreshing. I'd like for you guys to be aware of everything. We can't always be on the same topic. I definitely like to stay on our information and busting down the portals of lies when it comes to the stories and history about us. But it's also good to know that we go even deeper than that. It's so much more to us than just this physical self and even this physical realm that we're a part of, and we play a part in. So I'm gonna get into too much talking, but yeah, I'm gonna get out of here after that. I appreciate everyone that came through. Peace, love, and bliss. Tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're gonna have Gaddy Boy on. He will be going over a bunch of information. I'm hoping we don't have any issues, with anything with that. But yeah, we should have a great build. The brother's so informative, and I could play another video before we get out of here. Hold on, let me play another one. Let's play one on from the brother real quick, since we are going to be having a visit tomorrow. We can do that. Let me see, did I download this other video? I don't think I did. Let me see. Let me see. I don't just see it. I'm going to go and see it now and see if I see it. Okay, this may be it. I think I showed this earlier. Is this the one? No, this is not the one. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Okay. Alright, so that's okay. We're not going to do that one. But we're going to do this one. Hold on. We're going to do this one. Where is it? Oh, it didn't save. I had a video I wanted to show you guys, and I thought I saved it, and I see where I tried to save it, but I didn't save it. It's okay. We're going to try this next one here. Hold on a second. Let me see. I played this one before. I want to play something kind of relevant to kind of what we're talking about, some of the stuff we should talk about as well. And we'll get out of here after this one, guys. Give me a second. Unless I see this video here. Could have sworn I had it saved down here, but I don't see it. So yeah, we'll play this one. It's definitely relevant to what we kind of talked about, and we'll be out of here after that. Appreciate everybody that came through. Hope you guys have a grand evening, and yeah, we'll go through here.
I can tell you that every...
Let's go. Share screen. Sitting on the balcony, sound like somebody arguing. Lord, I wish they shut their behind up with all that nonsense nobody don't want to hear. Okay, here we go.
Which is a basic food, has the most deadly pesticide in it of any food that we have. And it's there in the fiber. I know. You buy an apple, another basic food, and you're buying a lethal dose of arsenic of lead because it's sprayed 4 times during its maturity. And that is in the fiber. People say, oh, I peel it. It's not in the peeling. It's in the fiber itself as well. What are we up to now? They radiate your food to keep it as long as it can't decay because there's no action left when that radiation hits it. What are we going to do about all this? Your government will tell you there isn't enough there to cause any trouble. I tell you, it's accumulative in your system when you keep putting it in. I found it, and it's basically back of many, many problems that we're facing today that are very common. Then we go into another field, the air. Do you realize that you have no oxygen to breathe? Very little. You're losing your balance. You can't think. You can't sleep. You feel terrible. You have no energy. That's
energy.
one of the first complaints that I get. I have no energy. I simply can't hardly get through the day. Why don't you have energy? Because energy requires oxygen. I get phone calls from coast to coast and even from across the waters with the same complaint. When I went to investigate it, I found there are several reasons, and I had a little experience of my own. The air is filled with carbon monoxide. What does that come from? The fossil fuels that are burned in our cars, mostly. Not entirely, but mostly. It is the unburned carbons in this fuel that takes the oxygen out of the air and out of your bloodstream. The arterial blood has no oxygen to carry to every other cell in the body. These are important things. And I've heard so many wonderful things here with our speakers. They have found part of the answer to most of them. I've only found part. We're only there at that point right now. We need to put all these things together so we can make it a whole picture. But we are learning where the problems are coming. Even the birds are falling out of the air because they have no oxygen to fly with. Now, I have talked to one of the head men at Sandia, who's in that department. And he said, do you know the condors are falling and we don't know why? I said, no, I didn't know they were, but I know they will fall because the large birds require more oxygen than smaller ones. But it had already been happening. Our government knows about it, but they don't know what to do about it. So there again, we're left out here without any hope or help, really. So these are the things. This is not really what I intended to follow in my talk, but it seemed to me, our speakers here, talking to people, and having a background that I have, I felt that we needed to get this operation out to the people so they will know they're not dealing with something that can't be individually corrected. 7 deadly radiated isotopes along with it. Now, I check all of this. I know exactly what's going on. And fortunately, I know how we can individually change it, help ourselves. And the amazing part of it is, we don't have to go to the drugstore and spend $35 or $40 or $50 for something to do it. Go to your kitchen, pick up a package of soda, baking soda, and it will neutralize all of these deadly energy flows that we have. But it isn't dignified enough to be used in the professional field. I once had a friend who was a surgeon, and he said, "What do you do for dysentery?" I said, "Well, I use cornstarch." He said, "My God, I wouldn't dare use that." I said, "Look, call it anything you want to, but help your people." These are the things that we run up against, the simpler things that we have, and you have them all. That's why I'm interested in getting this information to you, because it is handy. We don't have to go out and spend a lot of money. And you know, I found another thing, money don't grow on trees usually. So it's not always easy to come by. This is not the only thing now. I'm going back to what they call the flu. There was not a live entity in this. It was an energy. Now, friends, all of the work I do, all of the evaluations I make is based on the flow of energy. If we can understand just a little of that, we can help ourselves to a very great extent. People need help today.
Energy, energy, energy. I think that was a decent video for us to end on, right? Peace, love, and bliss to everyone. You guys have a great night. That was a video from, 50 years ago, right? Over 50 years ago. And she was talking about it then, the chemicals. This was even before they were GMO and cloning. And, they were doing it then, but it wasn't to the extent. So, yeah. Peace, love, and bliss. I hope you guys enjoyed the program. And we'll definitely have the brother back for another build. He was awesome. And I definitely enjoyed his conversation and everything that he spoke on. So, peace, love, and bliss, guys. You guys have a great evening. And I am out.